Hey, it's Josh from the Holo Chronicles. Thank you. Thank you for popping over to this stream. We've gone for like 9 hours now, 9-hour Pod-A-Thon. I've had 3 costume changes and 2 potty breaks. So if that's cool, right? So we're waiting for people to come in and just hitting the chat. See, what was it? It was my hyperspace. People are coming in the chat. Right? I'm looking at Andy. He's shaking his head. He doesn't like what I just did.
I love it.
Yeah. So get ready. Get ready. We're about to drop. We want a few more people to pop in. But while I'm here, let me remind you for the 3,000th time, this is for a great cause. And you guys have already blown it out of the water. If you haven't shared or brought a friend in, I actually went over to one of my group chats, very important chat. I think it's like a Kittens Are Awesome chat. And I said, hey, guys, $5, help us out. And I know a few $5 bills dropped in because of that. So do the same thing for us. We are at $1,265 of our $1,500 re-upgraded tier. And I know that during the Holo Chronicles, you guys are going to make us look good and you're going to get us a little closer. Okay. So, that's what's happening. Andy and I are very excited for our 3rd segment tonight, or today, whatever, to give you, this is going to be more of a come along with Josh and Andy, a day in the life, a week in the life, a life in the life with Josh and Andy. You're going to see us go through a few things. I got a little video I'm going to drop to start things off, and then you're going to see kind of some excitement. You know that the Holo Chronicles is all about collecting. It's all about finding cool stuff. And at this point, this is something very cool. It's something that could happen to you if you keep your eyes peeled. And we have some super special guests that are going to join us. We have an expert and another expert. We have 2 experts, which is just like these guys should have the show, and we should be like the peons that show up, right? So I think everyone's here. Everyone's here. Okay. If you guys are ready, I'm just gonna pop this video, and then Andy and I are gonna do our thing. We're pretty excited about it. We're more excited about it than you are, to be honest with you. But let's just say that if we don't grab $100 during this hour, then we'll do it the next hour. But let's go Holocron. Let's go BMB. We got this. All right. Without further ado, here we go. So, Andy, I want you to tell everyone what's happening in 9 minutes, or what we're trying to do.
In 8 minutes.
Yeah, it just changed. No, I still have 11:51, but nope, there it went. You're a little closer up to the east there, so the time changes about 2 seconds before mine. So tell me.
We are going in together on a collection.
It's almost midnight.
It ends at 11:59, and it's 11:52. And we've kind of decided where our cap number is, but we're really close to that number already with a few minutes to go. So I don't know what's going to happen.
And you've decided to go shirtless in the bathroom for this final.
Well, I needed a quiet room in the house. Everyone's asleep.
You could have left your shirt on though.
Well, I was almost asleep. Yeah, he just sent me a reminder. Says I'm not taking anything past 11:59. So
when do you bid? When do we bid? What happened? Why did it pop me out? What happened? That was so good. I popped us out for some reason. I think somebody hit something. No problem. Hey, we're live. This might be our first hiccup. Guess what? You're going to have to watch that from the beginning again. You're going to have to see more Andy, less shirt. So, Andy, I want you to tell everyone what's happening in 9 minutes, or what we're trying to do.
In 8 minutes.
Yeah, it just changed. No, I still have 11:51, but nope, there it went. You're a little closer up on to the east there, so the time changes about 2 seconds before mine. So
we are bidding. We are going in together on a collection.
It's almost midnight.
It ends at 11:59, and it's 11:51. Excuse me, 11:52, and we've kind of decided where our cap number is, but we're really close to that number already, with a few minutes to go. So I don't know what's going to happen.
And you've decided to go shirtless in the bathroom for this final.
Well, I needed a quiet. I needed a quiet room in the house. Everyone's asleep.
You could have left your shirt on though.
Well, I was almost asleep. Yeah, he just sent me a reminder. He says I'm not taking anything past 11:59. So
when do you bid? When do we bid?
I don't know. What if there's a tie?
Do we go above our number? Do we hit him with something?
Yeah. Well,
hit him.
You never know. I could go rogue here, Josh.
We're at 58. We're at 58.
Send. I'll let you know if we win or not.
I put Luke Green behind me for luck. Jedi, Luke, Green.
Oh, we got a thought bubble, Josh. We got a text bubble. We got it!
No way!
We got it!
Did we?
Yes! Fist bump.
For the people. For the people.
Yes.
I'm about to take my shirt off. That's fantastic. Really?
We got it, dude.
Unit 5 and ready.
We got it! Oh my God.
My shirt's on. I'm ready. Let's do this. Josh, I think it's important to point out a couple things here.
Okay.
The first is that it was not an eBay auction. This was just an offer up person saying he was taking bids.
Go ahead. Yeah, he was taking bids. That's all right. You know what? It's 9 hours, guys. 9 hours. There it is. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Keep going. You're fine. It's us. They can't hear. They can't hear.
Oh,
They're fine.
Hearing an echo. Anyway, it was offer up. The backstory is a guy he was selling his dad's collection because his dad had passed away. So unfortunate, of course. However, lost my phone. I'm sorry. He was selling his dad's collection. He didn't want to keep all of it. And so he was taking bids on what he had. And he posted a bunch of pictures. So, he was updating the bidding process. He was constantly giving me text messages over about a 3-day period, had good communication with the guy. Ultimately, I wasn't sure if other people were bidding or if the other numbers were actual bids from other people. But in a case like this, once we got there and saw what the stuff was, we could always walk away. So we weren't held to our number if things were to go sideways. And once we got past, I think it was about $1,500, I asked him to screenshot the bids that were coming in just for our own protection. So I felt pretty comfortable with how this is going about. We didn't have the PayPal or eBay protections, but doing it in a responsible way. So we ended up getting this, winning this auction on OfferUp, and Josh and I drove up to Tacoma, and I can honestly tell you, it was better, so much better looking at the stuff in person than it was looking through the pictures. The quality of the lot or the haul was incredible, as you guys will see. So
take this journey with us. All right. This is like I said in the beginning, leading up to this. Just take this with us. This is almost like a pod doc or a hollow doc. I wanted to call it a hollow doc, where we just kind of say, look, we're gonna pause time real quick. Usually we give you news. Usually we give you some new toys, whatever. But for right now, we're just gonna pause and we're just gonna enjoy the beauty that is the vintage lineup of figures. In a couple different ways. And we have some fun stuff for you. Sure. And again, we have some experts.
Should we bring in the experts?
Let's bring them in.
Let's bring in the experts. So we were originally going to call this the Hall with Paul. And for those of you that watched the show a couple episodes ago, we had Paul on to talk about getting things graded, AFA or CAS, and that was a well-received episode. So welcome back, Paul. Thanks for joining us again.
Yeah, thanks. Glad to be here again.
And then we thought, what would make this just push it right over the top? And it was kind of last minute decision. We got the hall with Paul, and now we got the lot with Scott.
Oh, the Dark Lord himself. Look at him. Look at him right now.
Hey, everyone.
So Scott Kinney is another former guest of ours, and Scott is well-versed in toy collecting. As you can see behind him, he's got all sorts of stuff in his basement / toy dungeon. And he's certainly knowledgeable about Star Wars, having some interactions with some very higher ups in the Star Wars universe too. Side note, Scott, are you in production of the Game Chasers movie right now, or we talked to you last before the pandemic? How's everything shaping up with that?
We have a rough cut of the film, but we had some planned reshoots.
Okay.
And because of COVID, nothing's happened. So we were hoping that maybe we could squeeze in some reshoots this fall before it gets too cold. We shot everything in the Dallas area. So we'll see. We'll see what, everything's day by day now.
Sure. Understand. Paul, I've seen your figure collection and it's pretty awesome. I know you've got a complete run of original vintage figures. Scott, what's your vintage figure setup right now? Full set, partial set?
With Star Wars, I have a loose, complete collection. Okay. I don't have like a complete anywhere near. I don't really collect carded Star Wars. I have a few, but I have a loose, complete collection, and that's the only probably completeness I'll get with Star Wars. It just seems like it never ends. There's wallets, there's Crayola, play sets. I mean, Return of the Jedi has to be the most merchandise film of all time. So
you're about to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
You think even more so than like the Phantom Menace, because that got that got crazy.
Yeah, that's on par for sure.
Okay. Now, Paul, I wanted to have you on here because you not only are into the figures, but you have variants. You go down the rabbit hole a little bit on variants. Remind us one more time how many Farm Boy Lukes you have.
I think I've got 20 right now.
Okay. And you have a number of Boba Fett's too. What's that, like 12 or so?
Yeah, one somewhere around there.
Okay. So this is perfect because what you're going to see here over the course of this hour-long segment is you're going to see a loose collection and a carded collection together. This is what Josh and I went in together and bought. And for the loose fans, you're going to get a niche that's scratched. Okay. For the carded fans, you too will get serviced in a little bit here in just a little. So, Josh, what do you think? Will you just show the big?
Yeah. You ready?
Okay. So I'm sitting at this table here, and this is the loose set that we bought.
Whoa.
I don't know how to, I wish I could do like oh, maybe it's this. I'm just going to do that for now.
Yeah.
We don't need to see our faces.
No. Right now, what you're looking at is a complete figure set from Star Wars through Return of the Jedi.
Doesn't work. Tried. Keep going.
Am I still going here? Okay. And you'll notice whenever you see two of the same figure, it's because it's a slight variation of the original. Some of them are pretty common. Some of them have quite a significant price difference between the two. For example, we've got a white hair and a gray hair Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay. This is considered a common variant. And there's no price difference between the two. But variations can happen just because one's made in Taiwan, one's made in Hong Kong. Sometimes just the paint gets a little bit different over time. There's a lot of different reasons why variants can happen. And you can, like I said earlier, you can really get down the rabbit hole on some of these. There's like almost an endless number of slight variant in color and paint and this and that as you go here. But this lot here is awesome. It's got every figure and some in multiples.
So say that again. So this is a complete
figure lot.
Yeah, complete like loose figure lot. Now it's not well, by complete we mean it's complete in the figure sense, but we are missing a few weapons, right?
Right. Put it back on the table there, Josh. So there's 116 figures on the table right now. I want to say 106 of them are complete. So that's pretty awesome.
That's pretty good.
It's awesome. Now in the buy sell trade world, Paul, what would you estimate the value of this lot to be, just off the top of your head?
Just off the top, I feel like a really nice condition loose run, if you sold everything individually, if it's complete, is about $6,000. So I would say you're in at least the 5,000 or 6,000. If you sold it individually, if you just put it on as a lot, I think you'd probably get around $4,000. Well, it depends. There's a lot of the extra figures, and so it kind of makes up for some of the figures that are missing weapons. But yeah, rough estimate around there.
And do you agree with that, Scott, or do you think that's a little high, a little low? What do you think?
No, I was just kind of curious. It does sound like a good estimate. I was curious. Some things that would make a bigger difference would be like, what are the variants on those sand people?
Good question, Scott.
I'm so glad you brought that up. There are two sand people here, and they are variants. We get Dash Randar.
We have Dash Randar on our camera. He's helping us get the zoom.
So that's as far as my arm will reach. But there is a slight color difference in the belt and strap. One's a little dark brown and lighter brown. But even more so, one is a hollow cheek tube Tusken Raider.
Yep, right there. Good job.
Yeah, I see it. Very nice. Yeah, so the value of that figure is what, Paul? 4 times, 5 times a normal Tuscan Raider.
10
Yeah.
times.
10 times, yeah. What, around 250 to 300 now, just
Yeah.
by itself. So
in good
variants like
shape,
that. If there are other variants like a hollow tube Tuscan Raider, like the Boba Fett's. What are the COOs on the Fett's? Whoa,
Back them up.
definitely some paint difference.
A little more. Back them up. Yep.
So I'm gonna guess. Can you read the COO on the back of their leg? Can you read the country of origin?
I can, but I'll just tell you because I already know. One is Hong Kong and one is Taiwan.
So okay, yeah, Taiwan is typically more expensive.
Yeah,
But if it were like, for instance, a tri-logo
right.
FET or a PBP FET or something like that, that one can run up the value of a collection like that really quick. It's kind of funny when you see large lots like this going on eBay. Every once in a while, you'll see one, and you're like, "Why is the price on that lot just going insane?" And there'll be some variant figures in there like that, which will drive it, and also the condition of some of the figures. Someone thinks there's some AFA 90s in there.
Right. Well, this lot of figures, I can tell you overall for a loose lot, the figures are in great shape, and with the exception of maybe the Taiwan Boba Fett's got a little paint rub on it, but aside from that, these figures are well taken care of over the last 35, 40 years. And I mean, to the point where it's like, it's tempting, because I have a loose figure run at my house, and it's tempting not to just like completely swap it out because everything is in such good shape. Getting back to some of the variants, we got a brown snake and an orange snake Yoda.
Oh, nice. Looks like you need to swap the canes.
He's right.
Yep.
He is right.
You're absolutely right.
You just got experted.
Hey, that's why you guys are here.
I love it.
That's why you guys are here,
man. I love it.
I want to see a close up of that blue snag. Let's see the boots on that guy.
It's time.
Well, and I'm glad you brought him up because I have a question for you, and I don't know if I have a good answer for it. The boots are pretty good. I mean,
he looks nice.
The toe, and the rim around the bottom, like the sole of his boots, it's really good. There's just the tiniest little rub on the top of one of his boots.
How's the hands? Is there any loss on the thumb?
No thumb loss.
It looks really nice. Yeah.
No hair loss either.
Yeah.
Hey.
But here's the question I want to ask you, and we can throw this to the chat as well. Do you consider a blue snaggletooth to be a variant of the red snaggletooth, or its own separate figure?
I'd say its own separate figure, just because the figure is completely different
from the waist down.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Pluto. Is it a planet or a planetoid? I mean that gets into the whole conversation of what you consider to be part of the loose figure collection. Because a lot of people are like, well, I consider the Wampa or the Dianoga, to be a figure that you need to have if you're going to have a complete collection or whatever. But blue snaggletooth, never came out on a card,
right?
Only available in that one Sears play set.
Yeah, the Cantina set. Yeah. So and to further your point, Scott, like the Max Rebo band and Jabba the Hutt, are not considered, air quotes, part of the original run because those were play sets and not figures. But many people would consider them part of the figure run. Yeah. But this was advertised as a complete figure run.
Yeah.
and technically they're right.
Yeah. I'd say most people would agree that lineup you have there is, a complete run. It's just when you run out of things to collect, you add. That's when you get into the variants and.
I want it to be super complete.
Yeah,
super complete.
Super complete.
Yeah, you do. You get bored once you complete that run. You're like, oh, I'll never go down that rabbit hole. But then once you're done, you're like, okay, now what?
Yeah, what's next?
Now you start looking for brown-haired Lukes, right?
Yeah.
So we've got a white and a gray-haired Obi-Wan. I'll just kind of go through all the variants here. Go back to the table shot there, Josh.
You bet.
We've got the hollow tube, Tusken Raider, and regular, and that's it for the Star Wars figures. Then we go down here. We've got smiling Lando and non-smiling Lando. We've got turtleneck, and non-turtleneck. Brown-haired and blonde hair. We've got big squares and little squares, FX7. Side note, I think FX7 is the worst figure.
Yeah, he hates FX7.
I said that on the
Poor
Pal
guy.
Boys the other day, and it was mildly controversial. So
Yeah.
we've got the different colored snakes and canes.
And correct canes at this point.
And correct canes now.
Yeah, thank you.
Yoda. We've got hollow eyeballs and not hollow eyeballs, IG-88. Taiwan and Hong Kong Boba Fett, camo lapel and non-camo lapel Endor Han. We've got two different colored eyes for the Emperor.
Well, we have, Jedi Emperor and Rise of Skywalker Emperor.
Yeah, right.
Obviously.
There you go. And then we've got slightly different colored jackets for Bib Fortuna. We've got an olive colored headpiece and a gray headpiece for the Rancor Keeper.
How about those cod pieces, though? What's going on there?
We've got a dark green and an olive green Gamorrean Guard. We've got two different colored T-bows, dark gray and light gray striped. We've got three different colored low gray stripes, and then a light gray and a regular kind of a gray Chief Chirpa. Those are all the variants, and for the majority of them, they're not worth any different. They're just different versions. So this was the first part of the haul. So should we say how much we paid for it? Is that okay to do?
Well, not yet. We'll do
Not
the
yet?
cards yet.
Okay.
To be honest, with their estimate of, we could say this: Paul and Scott's agreement with Paul's estimate is more than what we paid.
Okay.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So you're doing good
for
already.
for that portion, but we have more. And it's not about paying. I mean, for us, it was. I think we were fair, especially in an auction style format. We were fair with the person that was selling it. We talked to him. We were on. And a matter of fact, we didn't know either, because the pictures that you get from any marketplace can be misleading, right, Paul? Right? You're what do you got? What do you got? What do you really got? And so, and then there's a portion of like, well, what does he really got? So you got to make sure you're balancing that with asking for pictures. And so we came up. Yeah, we did fine as far as that goes.
Yeah, we stepped up. This was nerve-wracking. I don't know, like Paul, Scott, I don't know what the biggest toy, loose collection you've ever purchased before, but this was our biggest purchase. As
from a monetary value.
From a monetary value. Yeah. There was 116 loose figures and 46 carded figures.
Which, by the way, for the sake of time, we should probably show off these last 17. And if we want to get to the carded, we're going to have to do that. If we want to do what we want to do. If not, this is fine. We can ask the chat. But if we want to do what we want to do, better get moving.
Let me finish this question off, and we'll get to that. Like, Scott, what's the most you've ever? You don't have to put a dollar amount, but like, what's the most you've ever purchased at once as far as your collection goes?
Oh, my collection. Well, I also resell, so all my buys are typically hybrid. Like I'm buying a collection and there's pieces in it that I want, and I'm going to keep those, and I'm going to sell the rest. And I try to get revenue neutral in my collecting.
Sure. Yeah.
So I've done that. But I think the most I spent out of one single collection was like $10,000, and I spent everything I had, or I would have kept spending. It was an estate that was just insane, and the guy running the estate didn't know what he was doing, and he let me in there early, and I recognized the opportunity, and I just started spending money like crazy before anyone else found out about it. And so I would do it all over again. I regret all of the stuff that I sold out of that to get my money back, but the things I kept, I would have never paid for because they were so rare and expensive that I couldn't, spend $1,200 on a single toy.
Well,
I've done it. I just don't like doing it.
Right. Well, like what? What was one thing that you kept out of that? Just one thing.
I kept a Porgy Batmobile in a box that had the red whiz wheels from 1971, and it was a car that was only made for 1 year with the red wheels. So it's ultra rare. It's gem mint in this box, and I was like, well, I'll never see one of these again, and I would never pay what it sells for. But I thought this is one of those opportunities, to keep something cool. And I think anytime you buy a lot, you should even if it's just upgrading some of your own figures, you should take something out of it, and enjoy, something out, because you'll remember it. You'll remember looking at the figure. You'll remember the buy, and I think that's a big part of it.
That's a good collector tip right there. Paul, Scott has a bunch of cool stuff in his basement, and we would be remiss if we didn't mention that he has one of maybe 15 individual teeth from the Sarlacc pit from the set of Return of the Jedi.
Come on, Scott.
It's back there behind me.
You're not cradling it with like white gloves?
Let's see. I'll get up. I'll just give you.
Scott's on the move.
Yeah. Here we go.
Scott, you're like 6'2", right? Or is that just because you were standing next to Mark? I don't remember.
Yeah. He's not a real tall guy. He made me feel tall. You can kind of see it there, but that's
it is. Hold
yeah.
on. Let me hold on.
Full screen him.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Woo! What I wouldn't.
Man, I'm glad. You know what? Little peek behind the curtain here, Scott, but I almost drove through Denver on my way to Iowa just to stop by and say hi. Like, I'm not
anytime. But
I don't know if my wife would have been down for that. It would have been a little bit of a detour, but
I love having visitors over because most people, that come over to my house don't really care about toys all that much. So I love it when I actually have a collector that gets to come over, and I'll just get stuff out. Like, let's get into some totes. You want to see some weird stuff, that's not on the, on a shelf. Let's dig. And
let's get weird.
Hot tub time machine right there.
And I love it when people let me, dig in their collection. Like, hey, I've got some stuff in my closet that I, unsorted. You want to, if you're interested in anything, I'll sell it to you or trade it to you, whatever.
Yeah, man, that's the best. Paul, what's the biggest collection purchase you've made? Because I know you've had a couple big boys.
Actually, the collection I bought right before you came over from a gentleman named Gary that lived in Graham with me. He was selling a collection, and he had kind of done some focuses. So it wasn't a complete set, but he had almost everything I needed to complete mine, plus a bunch of variants. And so that's actually where what I sold you came from. So I upgraded and swapped out, and then obviously I need to recoup some of that money because I think I spent $3,500 or around there. Yeah. And I was like, I got to sell a bunch of stuff and trying to recoup.
So Andy, so let me just be clear. Andy got the crap left over.
I got the leftovers.
Let me tell you that what I had was pretty nice too. So most of what I sold Andy was, it wasn't beaters by any means.
It's okay. It's okay. Paul.
It's okay. We understand. Fine. And by the way, we do that to each other too.
Okay, before we move on to the cards, I just wanted to point out a couple of things with this last 17 group. First off, The Skywalker or the Stormtrooper Luke is in absolutely fantastic condition. There's no black paint rub. There's no hair rub. He's perfect.
Why?
The helmet is awesome. There's no yellowing. I really dig seeing nice white figures when they're supposed to be white. The telescoping R2-D2 did not come with a lightsaber, unfortunately.
Ouch.
But that dome is about as perfect of a dome as you will see. It is wonderful. And I love that. And then, of course, our buddy Yak. I'm not sure if Yak's joints have ever been moved because
Looks good.
I mean,
don't stop it.
Okay, I'm not.
I want to hear the crack. I want to hear the crack.
Yeah, but all the way around, it's. I mean, it makes sense that Yak faces the handful that I've seen and held with my own hands have been in really good shape, and it kind of makes sense to me since, in order to get one, you kind of had to go through a lot since they weren't readily available in the United States. So, if you were to get one of these, it must have mattered. So you took good care of it. But
I think as a kid too, he wasn't all that exciting to play with.
No.
And he had a staff. It wasn't like he had a gun or anything.
Can you imagine the 80s? Grandma's like, and here's Yak Face. And you're like, what how many Luke Skywalkers were there?
Yak Face.
Yak Face. It's one of the most dominant animals on the planet. Yeah, no thanks.
But all right, that just kind of is going to wrap up our loose segment here.
All right, we're gonna try and roll into something. I got to be honest, I don't know if we have time, but we can rip. We're gonna go very fast, so we want to do something a little bit different. And of course, we're just making this up as we go with you guys. And thank you so much for joining us, the experts. But we wanted to run over because we have a carded set. Now, remember, Andy and I bought this together. So think about that. That means we have to split it in some way, right? So what we came up with was kind of like a fantasy football draft for carded figures.
And here's what we're going to do. Okay. Because we have two wonderful expert guests on Star Wars figures. We're going to have Team Josh, which is Josh and Scott. That's Team Josh. And Team Andy is going to consist of Paul.
Thanks,
okay.
Scott.
So Scott will be making the selections for what carded figures Josh gets, and Paul will be making the selections for which carded figures I get.
Right. So basically what we have is teams of two. We each get to make selections, but we have somebody else making selections for us too, right? Does that make sense?
Oh, so you want to pick one?
I'm going to pick one. You're going to pick one. Then Scott's going to pick for me, and then Paul's going to pick for you.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have Paul pick for me first.
Well, that's probably a good deal. And we do have a cheat sheet, so it's like a normal NFL draft here. All right. So don't worry. So and we have our cameraman Dash Rendar.
Should we turn that around and?
Well, I don't know if our cameraman can handle it. How do you feel, bro? Dash Rendar, by the way, is Andy's son, Dash, who, if you can get this done, I will be thoroughly impressed. Dash Rendar, the cameraman, is giving advice right now. He's like, you probably shouldn't do that. Oh, here we go. I'm going to add it just like that because that's cool. There it is. We put it on a very nice table. Ooh. Focus. Look out, Dash Rendar. You're in the shot. So there's our carded pickup right there.
Which is pretty awesome. There's one tri-logo, and the rest are all Return of the Jedi carded figures.
And you guys should have cheat sheets too. I think we sent them to you. So, all right, here we go. Without further ado, I'm going to roll a die. Okay.
Okay. From Bounty Hunters.
So I'm going to roll for you.
Okay.
First.
Okay.
So this is for you.
All right. Was it high gets?
High gets. Here it goes. You got a 5.
Okay. I like it.
So, damn. Here we go. Hold on. I should probably pull this out so we can act like I'm really wrong. Here we go. And I rolled a 5. Damn. All right. Come over here and verify, Rendar. Here we go. You rolled a 2. Not good.
Dang it, Josh. And
I rolled a 1. All right.
Yeah!
You have first draft position. Oh, dang. Dang. Okay. So here we go. So you have first draft position. You're going to draft. Then I'm going to draft. Then we're going to actually, you said Paul's going.
Yeah.
I'm going to have Scott go for me.
So
first.
it's going to go Team Andy, then Team Josh. then
Okay,
Team
Paul,
Andy.
you are up. You are drafting first.
You got the pick of the litter.
Now,
Pick me a winner, Bobby.
Now, I'm glad that he said that he doesn't have very many carded figures because I know very little about carded figures. And so this is strictly based on just which figures I like. And I don't know about value. So
I'm feeling better about Scott right now.
Hopefully this is an even playing field.
Not that I didn't.
But the first one I got to go with because I know that Vader is a Letty. And I love Letty Vaders. I have probably 6 of them.
Oh shoot! You know what? I told him that we had a levy.
Oh man, you are a cheater.
Scott did
You are
not get
such
that
a cheater.
information.
You are such a cheater. It's okay.
Let
Go
me
ahead,
tell
Paul.
you that he didn't have to tell me because I noticed from the thick tip saber. And
Oh,
Hey,
So-
look at that! Look at that flex.
all right, Rendar, grab the Darth Vader and hand it to Mr. Your dad. He's grabbing it right now. And all right, show that to the camera there, Andy. There he is. Oh, Rendar, you're all over it, dude. You might get paid for this.
Nah.
All right, so Vader is off the table. All right, Scott, you're up.
Can I see closer to the figures at all?
No, not at all. That is your close-up shot.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. You can pick by name. I won't blame you for it. It's no problem.
Okay,
If
let me
you have your
see.
phone on you, the list is in your phone too.
Okay,
in the
let me
DM.
look at that.
No problem. I will tell you.
Do you have the music for the
Oh,
selections?
yeah. Hold on. I'll do that right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You have a tri-logo Anakin.
Yeah, it does have some bubble issues. Bumble. That
What?
was a bumble on bubble. Here we go. Search music. All right, Scott. Here we go. Make a pick.
Tri-logo Anakin. The Palpatine. What card is that?
Return of the Jedi,
They're
Okay.
all Return of the Jedi,
Okay.
except for the Anakin. Yeah.
except for the Anakin.
Yeah.
Oh man, we got some. Now the bubble is broken, just so you know. The bubble does have a hole in the top where you could actually eject
You're
Anakin.
saying too much. You're
Oh,
saying
well,
too
I'm
much.
just trying
Oh,
to be
okay. Okay,
honest.
well that's
Unlike you.
That's good to know because I mean some people would consider it like loose. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, no. Good call.
Okay, Kenobi with a okay. So you have a variant card, Jedi Kenobi, or an
Mhm.
alternate photo.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one.
It sounds good, Scott. Go for it.
All right, yeah, go for that one.
Let's do it. We're doing variant card. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Help Dash Rendar out. Where's it at?
It is the one on the left.
Good job, Dash. Yeah, give that to me. And I will.
Yeah, I'd
Oh.
love to have all those. I don't the alternate photo cards.
All right. Good pull. All right. Let's move along. Going over to Andy is making a pick now.
All right. I'm going to pick the scout, the biker scout.
Mm.
Man. And Andy and I'm definitely going to be just more this is what I want than condition or otherwise. I can't find it on my list, but whatever, I'll believe you. Okay, show it to the cam. Hold on, let me get you a close up there so the crowd can see. There it is. Very nice. Wow, that's actually really nice.
Yeah.
It looks good.
That's one of my favorite figures.
Yeah, very good. Very good. All right, Scott, here's the pick I'm going to make just because I really like this particular figure. Where is he? I'm trying to mark him off my list and I
I
lost
can't
him.
find the biker scout.
It's not
either.
the FX7, I'll tell you that much.
I was gonna say FX7.
I'm writing biker down because I don't think he was on there.
Did I not put him on there?
No. I'm going to
You knew
take
you were going to get it.
Let me guess what you're gonna take. then
Okay,
you
Scott,
can
guess what I'm going to take. Guess
Royal
what I'm-
Guard. You're going to take the Royal Guard.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm going to take the B-Wing pilot. Let's go.
All right.
Ooh,
B-Wing pilot.
B-Wing. Nice job. Nice pick.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I like it.
It's a B-Wing pilot. Okay.
That's
Hmm.
clean.
Yeah, very nice.
Nice clear bubble, too.
Yeah.
Woo. All right.
Yeah, it is very clear bubble.
All right, Paul, you're back up, buddy.
All right, how about that Jawa?
Oh, let's get the
Ooh.
Jawa over.
Yeah, let's do it. The Jawa. Top row there, Rendar.
Jawa's off the list. All right, Scott. Hold on. Let me get it closer. Yeah, look. Oh, he's pretty
Nice.
too. Show that bubble. Show that bubble. Side view. That's where you get the clear. Ooh, that looks good. All right.
And one thing you'll note, too, as we make these selections, all the cards are flat.
Yeah,
these are
all in great condition.
They're great.
Okay.
Good pick, Paul.
All right, Scott, you're up.
How's the TIE pilot look?
Ooh.
TIE pilot, grab him. You're gonna like him, Scott.
He's good.
Oh, bring him here. I'm gonna show Scott myself. Oh, because he's gonna keep him.
You're not going to show it?
I'm
Not
doing
gonna
it right
show
now. I'm doing it right now. Oh,
Nice. Yeah, nice.
Oh, get my face out of there. My camera just wants to focus. Come on.
There
Yeah,
we
that
go.
guy. There it is. Look at him.
Very
Look at
nice.
him. Look at him. Look at him.
All
I,
right.
I love that card art.
Yeah.
I'm sorry it's not focusing, but
Is it
There it
unpunched? It's unpunched.
Scott, you picked right. All right.
I'm going to go Wicket W. Warwick with my next selection.
All right. Okay.
I like the short guys.
Oh, let me get it off me. Sorry. I'm doing too many things.
Also unpunched.
Oh, yeah, cheater. Now, I will say this. Andy got to take this collection home, and he sorted it, which is Andy's job. That's what he does. I would not have taken that job or done anything right with that job. But so bit of an advantage. All right. All right, my turn, right?
Yep, your turn. You get to make your own choice.
What'd you pick
here.
there? I forget. I was just
Wicket.
Wicket. Okay. I am going to take. I want Lando. Skiff Lando.
Ooh,
good.
good one.
And I'm just going figure alone. Skiff Lando. That is Bespin Lando. Or Lando.
Lando in disguise.
Lando in disguise.
Right.
Yeah. Look at this bubble.
My son knows. My
He's
son
doing
knows.
good. He's doing good. Check this Lando out.
Super clear.
Oh,
Yeah, that's nice.
Ooh, he's good. He's good. I like my collection already, Scott. You're doing great.
Ball, you're up. We lost Paul.
Oh, right. Dang it.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll pick for Paul might have kicked himself out. That's all right. Go ahead and pick for Paul there, Andy.
Well, since you went disguise Lando, I'm gonna go disguise Leia.
Oh, Boosh Leia coming up.
Yeah, there you go, Dashel.
Dash Rendar. I don't know
Dash
who
Rendar.
Dashel is.
Dash Rendar, another unpunched.
Ooh, let me go full. Let me go full. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Lovely.
All right. So I will say this. We now have Paul's back. I'm batting him in. Paul's back. Paul's back.
What I missed?
Well, what happened, Paul, is that Andy picked your pick and he picked Boosh Leia. So
Boosh Leia. Okay.
yeah, I think that's a good pick. I think you're okay. So here's the deal.
I'll give you the next one.
We each have 2 more picks. Okay. Now I know we have more cards than picks, but we're out of time. But I want 2 more picks. And then I can't talk too much longer. We're going to just kind of grade our collection as it stands. Okay. So you ready? All right. So it is now Scott's turn.
Scott's turn.
Scott, you're up.
Endor Han.
Yes. Come on. Bring it over, Dash. Endor Han. He looks like Han Solo, but he's from Endor.
And that
But
is the
Endorian
You found him.
Han.
There you go.
is that the what are the lapels on that one? Is it camo lapels or
No
camos?
camo. Absent camo. I don't know if that's better or worse. Or
It's
it doesn't matter.
indifferent.
Come on, focus. Come
Man,
on,
focus.
Focus. There you go.
There we go.
Nice.
He's okay. He's good. Actually,
Only way to nowadays almost to get the black solid black blaster for him. is a
Yeah.
carded one.
He
Yep.
looks good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one pick for Team Most. All right, you
Paul gets
up.
this one.
Paul, let's go, Paul.
I'm going with the Death Star droid because that sucker is hard to find mint.
Woo! Death Star's
Oh,
droid.
I like where your head's at,
Oh,
Paul. You're not
man.
wrong. It's
Mhm.
the where's he at there? Death Star droid. Is he all the way over?
Maybe Andy made something up.
He's in there somewhere. Death Star droid. That's the name of the figure.
Come on, Dash Rendar,
It's
find him.
silver. He's silver. Not
right-
not C3PO.
No, isn't that him at the end? He just picked him up.
That's C3PO
Oh.
removable limbs.
Oh,
Top row. Next top row.
top row.
Right there. Yes.
Oh, he looks like 3PO.
Well, that's because the bubble has yellow.
Wow.
a
Okay,
little
here it
bit.
comes. Here it comes. Sorry, you're getting a bit of a yellow card here.
The bubble is a little yellow, but
Hit that, Rendar.
to Paul's point, the black on the eyes and shoulders is very hard to get in excellent shape, and this is in excellent shape.
All right. Okay. All right. We got one pick for each of us left. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Scott, you're up.
We didn't pick the Royal Guard, right?
We did not.
I
Let's see it.
picked that one.
All right, Royal Guard it is. Pick him.
That's
Bring
the
him here.
guy in all red there.
Red dude, bottom row. Oh, I thought I saw him on the bottom. I'm sorry. There he is. Ooh. All right, here it comes.
Nice.
You probably need Palpatine if you're going to get the Imperial Guard or Royal Guard.
He looks good.
I do like that.
Yeah.
I was always, when I was a kid, I was always mystified by that figure because he didn't do much. He was only in the shot for a couple of,
Yeah, he just leaves. Yeah.
but you knew he could probably kick some A. You know
Well,
what
we
I
got
mean?
to see it. I mean, Last Jedi gave us some
Yeah.
Praetorian Guard stuff. So thank God.
All right. I got one more pick
Yep.
and I'm going to cede it to Paul.
All right, Paul.
He's been
You got
doing-
the peak. You got the pick.
Oh, let's see.
I know what I would pick.
Let's hear. Let's see if it's on my list.
If it were me picking, I probably would go Bespin Leia.
Yep, done.
Oh,
I was gonna
Oh.
ask if what kind of a neck she had, but I don't think it really matters.
it doesn't. Bespin Leia. Grab
Bespin
Leia.
She's got the cape on the bottom there. There you go.
How many figures do you have? How many carded you got over there?
This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 7.
7. Okay, Scott, we get one more pick. You're picking. Here we go.
Does she have a turtleneck?
Oh, let me put it up for you. Hold on.
She
Let me get it up.
does. She
Let me
has
get
the
it up.
turtleneck. She's redneck Leia.
There you go.
Woo. All right, Scott.
I would go with the AT-AT pilot.
Ooh, the AT-AT driver right in
That's a
front of you,
good one.
Dash. right
That's a
there.
good one.
No, bottom
Nope.
row, white and gray, close.
Nope. One more
That's
over.
the commander.
One more over.
AT-AT commander. You're close.
Good job. Good job,
There you
Randar.
go. You know what, Scott? I like what you did there because you went TIE pilot, then you went AT-AT driver, and they're similar, and I like that. I appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah, those were probably that one and the Hoth Snow Trooper were my favorites as a kid.
Oh, they're awesome. Look how sad he looks. So Aw. my vehicle's very slow. Anyway, so there it is.
Your armor's too strong. For
Your
us.
armor's too strong for blasters. Get off me. All right. So that's it. So let's recap really quick. We are low on time. We have about 2 minutes to go. I will show you Josh's collection, which Scott Kinney has helped me select. It is the AT-AT driver. It is the Royal Guard. It is Endor Han. I really like him. It is Disguise Lando. Is that what they call him? Yep. It is the TIE Fighter pilot. B-Wing pilot. We got a lot of pilots doing good.
Yeah,
And I really like this Obi-Wan Kenobi.
very
All right.
cool.
Andy, you ready? Show them
Yeah.
off. I'm actually, because I run the cameras, I'm going to actually give you a full screen. Go for it.
Well, thank you very much there. We got two versions of the Princess of Alderaan. as well as a Death Star droid with minty fresh black markings. As well as a Darth Vader, made in Mexico, a Biker Scout, a Jawa, and Wicket W. Warwick. This one was $2.99.
$2.99.
$2.99.
Oh man.
So that's this group here. That's my group. Paul, you did good, buddy. You did good.
Yeah.
Hey, you as well.
We'll let
I think you. I think.
Hey, Scott, we did good. Scott,
Yeah, I was going to say you both did extremely well. That tops anything I've ever found. It's going to be a little bit more work to make the money back, but you guys did well.
Thank you, experts, for joining us, and thank you, everyone. We need to say right now, thank you for joining us on the Holo Chronicles as we kind of geeked out here. All right, and look, deal with it. That's what we do, and that was a ton of fun. We still have a lot of figures that we'll probably draft later, and I hope you guys come back for us, help us draft the rest. We don't know how to split these up, and obviously, you know, the whole Pod-A-Thon for today is for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. We just jumped from 1265. We're up to 1335. Our goal is 1500.
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's just great, and thank you, because I warned you guys, if you were going to sit here and watch us look at stuff, then you would have to donate. And you did. And so I'm so proud of you. You are the best.
And for every $5 donation, their name gets put in a hat for a drawing for this prototype Boba Fett helmet.
It's about time for us to send that back to the East Coast, right?
Yeah, we probably should send it back to Pete. He's gonna round us out here.
He's gonna round us out, but we'll do that. Andy, you're gonna have to take care of that. So Paul, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to finally meet you. Andy has spoke highly of you. Scott, you're one of my personal heroes, so thank you for joining. You're the Dark Lord. Look at you and your layer of awesomeness. Hey, give the Sarlacc tooth a kiss for me tonight. And we will see you guys on the other side very soon. So take care.
Thank you.
All right, Dash Rendar, thank you for your camera work. You're out of here too. And who's coming in with us? Who's ready to pop in?
I think the Bombad's in with next.
Yeah, the Bombad's in. We're probably going to fill a little more time here as we wait for them to jump on in. Again, let's see. They got a cool graphic too. They have a very cool graphic. Here it is. Boom. Dude, think about this. I almost want to join in on this because this is good. Why we love George Lucas. Remember, we did the Holo Award show. And the reason I'm going to say this I'm going to do my own precursor for why we love George Lucas for the Bombad cast.
Put us back on.
Is that? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll put us back on. Yeah, sorry. I can't do everything, Andy.
I know. I'd love to do that.
So my main reason is when creating our Holo Award show, I was trying to pull like stock footage from the 1978 Oscars, right, which included Star Wars for the first time.
They were nominated in a number of categories.
Yeah, which slayed in a number of categories. And they had this shot of George Lucas in the audience, and it was pretty much like George. It was like a joke, right? Maybe it was what was his name? Bob
Newhart.
Anyway, they had and George was like this. Here's my George.
And everyone else was
clapping. And George went. And so we used that clip like 17 times during our Holo Awards. So that is my favorite part about George, is that George doesn't give a crap.
He really doesn't.
He doesn't. He's like, while you're talking and making jokes about me, I'm inventing the rest of this universe in my head.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the technology and how to do it.
During Bob so-and-so's joke, he created Jar Jar Binks, which, by the way, Bombad cast can be grateful for. So if these boys are ready, which I'm not sure they are, we will bring them in.
We're ready.
We're
ready. And dude, okay, so the clip you mentioned, I have not seen that one, but there's a lot of that in what you're gonna see later. Let me get my boy Jerry in real quick. Gerald, what's going on, dude?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Short of the bounty. Oh man, you guys look so good. Short of the bounty hunter, which was a premiered, 3 hours ago or whatever.
Yes.
It's the first time we've had Hollow and Bombad on the same
Holy
screen.
cow.
I know, right?
This is
This
it.
is a travesty. A
This
travesty.
is it. And at this point, we're just gonna leave.
Yeah.
So you're welcome.
Hey.
Thank you for the
I'll see you in a
setup.
little bit. We'll definitely see you in a little bit for that final.
That's right. But I'm definitely excited to talk about George, because George to me is a fantastic character on his own. He's just fantastic.
Exactly. And that's the whole premise of this whole episode, is pretty much the fact that George, for some reason, is just more human than human.
He is.
Yeah,
And
that's
before we
right.
hand it over, can we talk a little bit about how freaking close we are to hitting our goal?
It's
Can we do
insane.
that?
Oh my gosh.
Let me see. I don't know where we're at right now.
We
Look,
are
I
at
have the link right here.
1335. People in the chat. Let me tell you, you guys are amazing. Some of them have been with us
Since
I can't do the
9
math.
Eastern
I'm trying to do the
this
math.
morning.
10 hours. 10 hours.
Holy cow.
They have been with
Guys,
us.
go get a sandwich. Go get
Whether-
a sandwich or something.
Whether it's off and on or on and off, I don't care. They're still in the chat. They've been here for
Fucking straight.
10 hours. They've been adding, they've been promoting, and we just got launched up again to 1335, which gives us a math teacher. We're only how much?
165 away.
We're only 165 away. That's why I have it.
Whoa! Count.
Now I challenge, as I hand it off to you, as I'm stepping on your time right now. I challenge you guys, get to the 1500 Bombad cast. George will help you.
Oh, we got it.
We are
There's
out.
a video that.
We are out.
Peace,
Bye, Hollow
Hollow
Boys. Wow.
Whoa.
Jerry, we've had a
Yes.
heck of a day. We've had a heck of a day. Let's be real.
It's been insane.
We've had.
I don't even. I'm stepping all over your lines. We've had so much crazy stuff going on. We've had like so many new. That look at that awesome graphic.
Yes.
By Pete Pletzer.
Yes.
I've got a new setup, as you can see. So it's. Do we like me not looking into the camera? Do you like me staring into your soul or not? Let us know. But
No.
can you believe the turnout we've had for this and just all of this Bombad like craziness today?
It's been ridiculous. And the couple things I want to say from the beginning, Simplify Danny with the $500 donation is insane. Number one, we are beyond thankful for your generosity today. And everyone that's contributed. I've had family members. Look, I'll read some family members off because they're listening and watching right now. Chris and Beth, they donated some money, which is my step mother and my dad. So happy they donated. My Tati and my Mimi, which is my aunt and my grandmother, they donated. And my mother had a special message. She wrote, "Scotty Jero, one and only mum." That was what she wrote. I don't get it. She thought it was funny. She doesn't like the J-Ro thing. It drives her crazy. So, yeah.
Doesn't like that you spell it phonetically or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's easier for a bunch of simps. But
It's only your legacy, Scotty. that
Yes.
You're like taking a poodoo all over. So
well, some poodoos are good, especially the ones that George takes. And the only poodoos we will 100% accept in this stream is, yes, a friend of the Bombad cast. You've heard his voice before if you listen to Bombad cast, but we had to have him on for this episode because of the fact that he helped me create this video that we're going to present to you a little bit later. And he is a huge fan of George Lucas. Him and I literally will send screen recordings of just like noises George makes to each other. So without further ado, I'm bringing in the one and only Eric Cotterman. Eric, how's it going? Look at that banner move.
Whoa. Yeah, we got that banner down for a second.
Hold on.
Yeah, we got
What's going on, E?
It's face reveal.
Yes,
Yeah, you look like it's like Wilson from A Home Improvement. So
What's going on, Bombad people?
What's going on, E? How
man.
reporting from to be what's the place in episode 7, the rebel base called the resistance base?
Dakar?
Dakar. Yeah, it looks like you're from the back area of Dakar.
Yeah, that's exactly where I am.
Or
okay,
like
cool.
the back kitchen of since we're talking about George, the back kitchen of an Italian restaurant where you tell people who love the Phantom Menace you love them. So that's what you could also look like.
Okay, so where do you think that was taking place? Okay, if you don't know what we're talking about, there's a clip of George Lucas referring to how much he loves the people that were at the Phantom Menace panel at Celebration, and he says, "Everyone not here, I love you all," and he says something along the lines of that. And y'all, my George has gotten better, by the way. I will say that, but I seem to believe it was for like a Marriott. It was a fundraiser, and he was like in like the back of a Marriott, like like some sort of like I don't know whatever they call it, like the like one of the showcase rooms. He's like, "Well, I'm here to."
It looked like a Wendy's. It looked like a Wendy's like the manager of a Wendy's restaurant or something. Like The Office. Like he was just like kicking back. He's like, yeah, my cousin owns the Wendy's, and I like to hang out with him from time to time. I'm so ready for this, guys. Like just before we started in our break, like we were on the bounty hunting and stuff. I had my special edition Purist shirt come in.
Yes,
the mail.
So sick.
Oh, it's so good. It feels feels right. It just feels
I think
right.
Eric and I. Oh, Eric, what's your shirt? Okay, you have a different shirt. Do you have anything special on or no?
I have a, not so Star Wars shirt on.
Oh, okay. Do you want to share it?
Yeah. You can rip off of it, and you can say that thing you do or do not.
There is no try. I did not know you had a shirt like that. For anyone that doesn't know, Eric's favorite movie is That Thing You Do, written by and directed by Tom Hanks. So
it's
a great movie. Great movie.
Great
so,
movie.
That's awesome.
My shirt is a kind of an Easter egg for later, but for anyone that hasn't bought it yet, you have to go out and get a My Guy McCallum shirt. For some reason, it's Katie's favorite shirt that I own now. She wants me to wear it more often.
It's incredible.
Check that out. It's amazing. It's amazing. And
beautiful.
It is beautiful, Jerry. You actually were the one that thought of it, and I love you for that.
I thought of this too, but I am the sole owner. No one has. I was the first person to buy this. I bought this and copy paste Ronto.
Oh yeah,
that was the toss up. Which one I was going to wear tonight? So
some Hello Greedo vibes there.
Vibes.
So
maybe
one thing I want to bring up. Okay. We would not be talking about Star Wars if it wasn't for the one and only maker. Yes, today we're talking about George Lucas, GL, baby, and everything that makes him so interesting. So, to kind of kick it off, why are we all so drawn to this person? Because, a lot of things you watch and enjoy, you never really think about who created it, especially in terms of like, I don't know, like Gene Roddenberry is interesting, but I never do Gene Roddenberry interviews. Like I don't really care that much. But there's something about George Lucas that hyper focus on. And with our guest Eric, why are you obsessed with George Lucas? Because we all are in this particular chat, and hopefully people in the comments, they are all obsessed with George Lucas. Eric, why are you obsessed with George Lucas?
Honestly, I just think it's because everything he accomplished is so amazing. Obviously, he didn't do it all by himself, but a large part of that credit is due to him.
Yeah.
And so when you think of somebody like that, I don't know, I don't want to use too strong of words, but he's almost like a Mortis god or something to all of us.
Oh my gosh. Can we get a fan film of George Lucas as the father or something? He's George Lucas just nonchalantly grabs a lightsaber blade and pushes it back in.
But I think the charm is that he's just so plain. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. And so he's just become he's transcendent filmmaker, obviously. But even to the point where I don't know, little kids know who George Lucas is.
See,
he's just one of those kind of guys.
Yeah. Jerry, why do you love George? Why do you get caught doing George voices at work, when you're not supposed to be?
Well, hold on. Let me first I gotta use my classic Hershey's bar to think here.
You got a Diet Coke with it? That's the only way you can do it.
I have a blueberry lemonade with gin.
Is that a George joke? I don't get that.
It's not. It's just what I had. I didn't get that. I switched the Diet Coke for something else, but
okay.
Well, this is a me thing, Sky. You didn't know?
I thought it was a George thing.
I just eat Hershey bars. It's a thing. It's just a thing.
Hey, word. I like Hershey bars. Pretty good.
Very interesting. revelation to me.
So, well, yeah, you know, I wear Keds and flannel and just dad Levi's
Oh my
all the
god!
time.
Oh,
Tucked in, of
man.
course.
So awesome.
But anyway, so what is it that we love about George?
Yes,
He's a character. He's this. Look at the space saga that he created, and then like this man is a genius. He's like he's good with story. He's good with like world building and things like that. And so we like our undying. He has our undying love for that. But then you look, and he is the most like subdued person in the world. For the
He
guy
really
who created
is.
the entire universe. He's just like, so the Jedi, they have these laser swords. I think we're gonna call them flashlight sabers, and they go fight these robots. So it's like seriously,
it's
this
no, yo,
dude-
I know you're getting that.
and then like you put him with your shirt, McCollum,
yeah,
and it's like I want a sitcom with those two guys. It's like,
okay,
come
exactly. Exactly. And in our episode earlier with Alex Damon, I mentioned the fact that like I have a feeling that George accidentally called McCallum Biggs because of how much, you know, he like Luke and George Lucas, obviously the same character, right? And I have a feeling that at some point, you know, George had a guy named, you know, Biggs in his life. And one point, you know, in the future, he's working on the special editions and he's like, yeah, you know, Biggs. And he goes, oh, Rick. And it's like, wait, what? And you got to think, you know, there's two things that go great together, and it's obviously Rick McCallum with his BDE energy, and we've got George with his probably LDE energy, but that's not what we're talking about. But hopefully, no children are watching. To me, George is someone that should not be famous. Like he should be a librarian in Modesto still. He should be the guy that has a daily write-in for the local newspaper that complains about everything millennials do. That should be George Lucas.
No,
it should be.
What's funny is I don't think he's the boomer that like complains about millennials. He's like the cool boomer, but he's very boring. Imagine this. This is the guy who was really into drag racing when he was in high school.
Yeah.
I mean, like George effing Lucas.
Yeah.
Was like
was a racer.
I really like. I have a need for speed. And I just can't. I can't be quenched.
Well, I think the other part of the fascination with him though is like, you know, a lot of the times we like kind of idolize like idiots, like who are celebrities, and we think that's funny. But like George is actually really intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know, you kind of get all the pieces of the pie with George. Like you get to have fun, you get to have humor. Yeah. Have you all seen that clip of him? I've seen it before, but it's like in circulation right now where he's like, I don't know if he's at a school or a graduation or what, but he's talking about the difference between joy and pleasure.
Yeah, I've
so
heard it.
It was so good.
Oh yeah.
He just like talks for like maybe it could have been 5 minutes, could have been 15 minutes, but I was just like entranced by like everything he was saying because it was so smart. It just goes to show like, I don't know, somebody with that like kind of critical thinking skills for just something like so basic as happiness.
Yes.
Or not necessarily happiness, but like the way he like splits it up. Just, you know, gives a lot of reasons why we love the series so much.
Oh,
like it's not just like fart jokes.
No,
like sometimes it is, but like it's not always.
Yeah.
He's a complete person. Yeah, and he is that like I joked earlier about like how it's this grand universe that he created, and then he's like very you know, subdued. But I mean, you got to think that wisdom is there. Like you were saying, him that speech at that school, that is like straight up like George Lucas wisdom, and it's very true what he was saying about how it's not about happiness, it's about finding joy or like piece, whatever. Like I forget exactly the words and stuff, but it was just a very uplifting, very intelligent, wise message and stuff. So this is the man who he's the only person who could have created this Flash Gordon fan fiction that is now probably more popular than Flash Gordon.
Well,
I mean,
it's also important to note that not only did he change the film going experience, but he had a really big push for this. And I did not know this until I did my research for the video that I made, that he had a really big push for the film going, not the film going experience, like the actual sitting in the theater, how it was different. I mean, he made it very important that every theater should be on level with each other, so that whenever you would go to a movie, it would be the same experience, the experience the director intended of it. So he pushed digital filmmaking to the max. And, you know, he set a lot of regulations in place in order to be able to show a picture. You do have to have all your surround sound systems working. You have to make sure everything's in sync. Digital projection's way easier for that. Regular film projection, yes, is an art form, but it's not as easy to convey and do this correctly, you know? And George really made a very, very big point to have this experience be perfect and go really well for every time they showed one of his movies, one of his friends' movies. It's a really big thing. I don't know. I think that's what makes him stand out, is that he cares so much. And frankly, I saw it early in the chat. I really do think, and I think Eric had said it as well, he was probably the very first director I knew by name. And I think it was one part my love of Star Wars, and the other part is because, I don't know, I something about him as a person. Like, he was attached to so many things we loved. Indiana Jones, pretty much anything that Spielberg worked on, he was in some way involved. And same with Star Wars. He was just so huge. He was so important.
Did either of y'all, this is so off the cuff, but this is the Bombad cast. Have either one of y'all growing up watched those sing-along Disney videos from the parks? Do you know what I'm talking about?
My sister had the VHS.
I had some sing-along VHSs. We had like some Hanna-Barbera sing-alongs, but I don't think we ever had the Disney World, like actual people at Disney World.
Yeah, it was like they produce these. It's like kids and stuff, and like all the like dressed up characters like singing songs and stuff. But like, I don't know, they're singing like Zippity Doo-Dah or something.
Yeah,
and like at one point they're in Star Tours. And
wow.
I definitely was watching this like all growing up. So it's kind of I don't know, like the point of this is bouncing off things you're saying, Scott. It's like things that we loved like growing up. So like, I guess in my mind, Star Wars had always been a part of Disney World, which is like not the truth.
Yeah.
But, you know, being 90s babies, like that was just like part of our life. Yeah. And, you know, he was like changing. I mean, I'm sure Star Tours was like a huge technological achievement.
Yeah.
When it comes to rides. So I don't know, like we owe so much to George and we love him and we miss him and we want him back for something, but
that's important.
Yeah. But I don't know. After all that stuff we said, like he's just like so great to meme.
Yeah, he's
amazing. Just amazing.
He's so easy to do.
He's the most memeable, actually, and unfortunately for all sides of for the light side and the dark side.
Sure.
Yeah,
but we not to touch that too much or anything.
Sure.
This is a celebration. This is a celebration.
You know, he did an awful lot for his own like self and his own franchises, and people still didn't give him the love he deserved. And like, I don't know if it's because it wasn't what people wanted at the time, but now looking back at it, he really didn't do anything wrong. Like, I really don't like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is fine. Like, it's not great, but it's fine. I love watching it, you know? And same with some of the prequels. I don't mind watching them, but I mean, you know, my favorite Phantom Menace, but like when I mean, you know, Eric bought me the poster, but with all that being said, you gotta think about George pretty much being the ultimate rebel and giving us not what we wanted, but what we needed. Because 20 years later, no matter what anyone says, that right. Anyway, 20 years later from to now, he's going to be right about something. You know, it's going to be his vision is always 20 years in the future. The Phantom Menace, when it came out, had a good ride, but majority of what Lucas heard was nothing but complaints. 20 years later, the kids, everyone sitting in this chat right now, and people actually chatting in the thing, all love the prequels to death. Like, I love them more than the OT. Just saying, I get more of him than the OT. So he has this vision that is not destined for the people experiencing it at the time. It has to be for the people in the future that'll look back at it. And I think GL is going to be regarded as one of the most important, as big as Steve Jobs, as big as anyone that's improved technology and everything. He's going to be the one that people like. He's going to be the Aristotle of this whole generation. Seriously, he just is. He's a visionary. He's a genius. You know?
Absolutely. And I think like all those things that we've already talked about is conducive to the fact that George is a rebel.
Yeah, baby.
Everything he's ever like approached. Everything he's ever approached. He didn't like the Hollywood filmmaking system. He didn't like having other people tell him what he wanted to, what they wanted him to do in his films, pay for his films, how to shoot his films, what kind of characters to have. Yeah, I mean, like he set the bar for like a lot of stuff, and like, I don't think this is like, you know, an untalked about fact, but like, you know, Leia was very important for you know, characters in film. And Star Wars fans, we all know this. Like it's not like a secret to us. I think some people tend to forget, especially with the new wave of female-led movies and stuff like that. But like, you know, George Lucas was already thinking that way.
Oh, way ahead. And Leia saved everyone's butts. I mean, truly. And that's a powerful character that you did not see in Hollywood back in the 70s. And the next character after that was Ripley from Alien. And it took Leia probably to get to Ripley. Let's be honest.
Right. Absolutely.
And, you know, George always like had I don't give a F word attitude about everything. You know, like one of my favorite parts in the beginning, and Eric and I talk about it all the time, was when George was just literally, he was like, you know, everything we're doing now, people are going to be doing in the future. So the budget doesn't matter. We have to get this done. And he goes, we're not relying on anyone for it. It's all being funded by me. And like, y'all, how bold is that he literally funded his own movies? He had Fox distribute it, but he truly paid for everything with his fortune. How amazing is he? Is the biggest indie film director with the biggest budget. Those
are some economy size like truck nuts on that man. Like for real. Seriously, no. I'm just saying, because thinking about it, like he really is like, he's so soft spoken, but he is like, he doesn't take it from anybody.
Yes.
It's like, oh no, this is what I'm gonna do.
Exactly.
You know, and I wish I could see that man in more than just like a monotone, like kind of a thing. Well, you know, you got to see him kind of. Did you guys watch the Star Wars show this last week where they showed never before seen?
Stuff.
Oh, talking about like that 30-minute one.
That's in the video.
Like when George Lucas comes out, it's the first one. It's like at the Celebration 3. He's coming out and like they're screaming and he looks at that lady at the curtain and goes, you're like free, like just joking with her and stuff. Oh.
Jerry has no idea, huh?
I really have no idea what's going in there.
Jerry, you're gonna die laughing.
How many other emotions of George Lucas do we want to see? I mean, come on.
Oh, Jerry, this video is gonna totally change your life.
You guys are killing me. But anyway, no. So good. So good.
So I want to go to the chat real quick because I forget this is true. Rural Farm Boy says George Lucas is the reason credits are at the end, not the start. That's one of the big things. He got kicked off the I think it was the Screen Guild. I don't know maybe it was the Academy Directors Guild for literally saying no, my movie's gonna have it at the end. And
he didn't want to do them like at the bottom, like
no.
As like the first couple of scenes are coming on.
Yeah. Exactly. Another thing was, I love this. Of course, we all agree this framing. Jar Jar paved the way to many, many digital characters we love today. Yes, he pushed that envelope like crazy. There's a whole segment in the beginning where he's like, nope, we got to do it. Nope, we got to do it. Nope, we got to do it.
It's all right. Like Jar Jar is a famous line or something.
Yes. It's just, I don't know. I think it's really important to have to like bring into effect that he also developed Clone Wars, something that we all ended up falling in love with later. I really don't know that many Clone Wars fans that were Clone Wars fans from the beginning. Like most
Right.
people came in a couple seasons later and were like,
Right.
"Oh, I know what they're doing now. I understand it now."
Didn't like Filoni kind of talk to George, like a lot of the weirder concept episodes, like Mortis, were George's idea too,
Yeah.
like that, like.
Oh yeah.
And he taught, like, that's why Filoni now does, like, he takes chances and shots with the Force, you know, like
Yes.
worlds and things like that. Because George taught him, like, it doesn't matter what people say. It's not a video game. Y, you know, press XXB, up, down, left, right, and then you can do a Force push. It's more magical and mystical, and I just love that. I don't know. I love what George did with the Clone Wars, proving to people who said that he took the magic away from the Force that it was still mysterious.
One of the interviews we watched, there was a line where he's talking like, "I hope they don't like what do you want them to do with your movies, George?" He goes, "Well, I hope the Force doesn't get muddled into a bunch of gobbledygook." And it's like, that's one of the lines that's definitely in the video. It's just, you know, gobbledygook. It's just this thing with George is so important because he also does the first edit droid, right? That is the droid. That was the computer, the software that allowed people to edit on a computer instead of editing, you know, literally by cutting film. And something we often think about too is like, there's one scene in the beginning where Ben, Bert, and George are sitting there editing that scene inside the Naboo starship, and literally they're like, well, George likes the scene from this and the scene moment from this, so we're gonna splice it down the middle, layer it on top of each other, and see what we can do. And it's so weird to think that George, and if you watch any interview with him, he loves the post-production edit way more than filming, way more, because the filming is the act of getting it done, whereas the actual editing portion is the part he really digs, the things that he really loves, and that's very obvious in most of the documentaries with George Lucas. You know,
absolutely, yeah. George is a big fan. I don't know if you ever noticed the first 20 minutes and the last 20 minutes of every George Lucas movie are like really, really, really good.
Always.
That was like a philosophy he had. He's like, the first 20 minutes and the last 20 minutes need to be. I don't remember what word he used. When I took 70s film in college, there's a whole thing we read about. He popped up in that book a lot, obviously. But this is also, bouncing off what Jerry just said like a couple of seconds ago. Like, this is kind of an obvious, but it's one of those things you just like don't think about. Like, we have to thank George Lucas for Dave Filoni and the direction that Star Wars will be taking probably from this point on. We have George to thank for that. Not that Dave wouldn't have maybe been able to like get there by himself, but the fact that George picked him and
as a successor. Oh,
right.
His 100% there. Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. It's if he ends up getting into the place where we all want him to be, where he kind of has his hands in like all the what's the phrase I'm looking for? I don't know. In all the buckets, maybe. I don't know. I think our Star Wars is going to end up being way more George Lucas-y than it has been in a while. So,
and that's a good point, because I love the sequel trilogy and I love everything it's done. I love Solo and Rogue One. They all had the George Lucas taste, but like, I don't know. There's something about like maybe experiencing something kind of uncomfortable that George Lucas does, like there's some scenes in the Phantom Menace, not that it's a bad uncomfortable. It's like it's a kind of a thing you have to experience when you're going through and watching a movie for the first time. And it's good that it hits you every time, that it's something that's very different for you. And George always found a really good way to do that. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the fact that he is such a, genius filmmaker, or if he's just such a, he has studied so much story and what it means to tell a good story. And I think that's, that's why I really enjoy everything about his whole aura, like his outfits, his demeanor. It's like Jerry, you're right. It shouldn't be this way. George should be like Steve Jobs, like, "Hi everyone, I'm Steve Jobs," and George is just like, "I want a Diet Coke and take me on a fishing excursion." Like George would, you know what's funny?
Wearing that hat that Luke wears in the Biggs deleted scene or something.
Wait, you'll love this. Eric and I learned from watching every Charlie Rose and George Lucas interview, and yes, there's probably about 7 or 8 of them things. Bet you didn't know that. This is so funny. Charlie Rose and George Lucas every year go to the F1 races in France. That is something they do together. And the idea of George like, oh yeah, whoa, that was fast. Like just picturing George like being at the best box in the whole entire arena to watch F1 races with literally Charlie Rose is the funniest thing to me. And they've been doing it for years. Just like, oh wow, look at that. Whoa, that was fast.
Oh, well, they're fast.
Charlie, did you see how fast that went? Yeah,
oh, Charlie, did you see that turn?
And in his mind, he's going, do, 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 do.
He's like,
in his mind, he's going, I'm putting everything on Sebulba.
Speaking of,
yeah.
I want to bring it up. We got to watch it. So, this is
how are you going to do it?
I'm going to share the screen. We're going to, so this is what's crazy.
Magic Love.
Listen, Eric, everyone in our network makes such good content, and I don't know why. They'll throw in a clip from anything, and it'll get flagged instantly. No, listen. No, what I'm saying, I don't know why they constantly get flagged for, like, even using a snippet of a song. I uploaded this, no copyright issues, and it's nothing but interviews I've stolen from the internet. Now, I don't know how that's even possible.
Scotty, don't say it out loud. No.
No, it won't make a difference. I don't know why, but I think it's because YouTube analyzes the whole thing instead of snippets of things, and it could not depict what was not copyrighted and what wasn't. So
it's like cannot detect actual conversation. It just sounds like a bunch of
just wait. So for anyone who's fixing to watch this, and I'm going to be honest with you, this could blow up because of just because of how it is. I can't wait for you to enjoy it, and I want to see the comments light up on this one. It is a special video to me. I think it's really, really funny. And Eric had helped me with like segmenting certain things and finding the clips. So Eric, thank you. And Jerry, I genuinely cannot see your reaction. Okay, I'm so excited. So I'm gonna get this thing shared, and then we will definitely start this viewing session. Okay,
let's do it.
Are we muting or no?
I think it would be okay. I want to hear Jerry laugh, to be honest with you. So no, I don't think we would have to mute. So
now I feel pressured to laugh. I'm not some 1980s sitcom laugh track, Scotty.
Jerry, you're gonna. So we're actually gonna show our faces watching it. So everyone in the chat, I cannot wait to see your comments light up. This is something I'm very, very proud of. And also my BTBD fam who are watching right now that have not seen this as well. Good luck. Okay, here we go. Let's get this thing rolling. Let me make sure. Actually, let me go back. I don't think I shared the audio. I didn't want anything bad to happen. Let me try this again.
Oh,
yeah, no, we didn't want to make that a mistake. Here we go. Share audio. All right, world premiere of Why We Love George Lucas. You're looking at a viral video in the making. Here we go.
What if someone else beside you came to you and said, I want to make episode 7? Could you see that happening? No, absolutely, positively. You're really closing the door without any wiggle room whatsoever.
Right. There is no episode 7.
Fans can expect a new feature film, Star Wars Episode 7, in theaters worldwide in 2015.
Nice cardigan. Whoa! Is it new Star Wars? The way he holds.
Lord Vader.
Oh, come on.
Fine. What does all of this mean? Here we are 30 years later, and Star Wars is here.
Hey, it just can't be killed.
Oh.
Wait, you're not going to beat my movie, are you? You're not going to. Jurassic is number one. Remember that.
Should I?
The job is they have to crush you like a bug.
And I said, we're going to have to divorce Frank first.
Thank you, Bob. I'll first say you did a great job.
Thank you very much. Coming from you, that means a lot.
Well, it could have gone very bad.
What advice do you have for Kathy?
Good luck.
I don't really care about you. I think I've done a good job.
Your first film.
Well, nobody else did.
Well.
Working on my own films. George, when are you going to go back to experimental film? Make my own little personal movie. More experimental kind of film. An experimental film is an experimental film and have fun. I will be directing movies, but not movies generally that will be shown anywhere. They'll never be seen by anybody. I'm just going to waste it making movies that'll never make any money, which may never even be released. They're just films for myself and my
You
friends.
get everybody
Three of
mad.
us are here because we know what a great feeling it is to win an Academy Award for directing.
Yeah, it was the greatest honor that I've ever received. No dangle weed here.
Hey, guys, I never won an Academy Award.
So why are you here?
Oh! I don't know. I got nominated a couple of times.
Well, anyway, the two of us know what a great honor it will be for one of the 5 nominees.
Well, I just want to say Goongas.
Spread
That
out.
coiffed hair.
You know, these droids, they can't get the physiology right. There we go. And the Oscar goes to
Jar Jar Binks. This is a first campaign in our effort to rule the universe.
And I want you to get out of this office right now. I'm sorry, sir. No way. No way. You brought it on yourself. I don't want you here. I'm sorry, George. I didn't think it would go like this. Out. Dad, I got your badge.
Well, I
Oh,
would
yes.
say shake. A lot of my friends have yachts. It wasn't for the women. I was working. I'm not even human. It worked out. I started working out really for most. No, I got divorced, so I said I got to get in shape. You know, garbly good. There may be some ghetto in this one. Many of the women are afraid of me, so they sort of hover, but they never come close. I'm not sure, but I have a feeling I'm just going to lay there dead. I mean, I got drunk a few times, threw up, and said, "This is stupid. I'm not going to do this."
Yoda come to the hood.
Yeah, we get to go to a lot of different planets in the next one. So I'm about as musical as a dead frog. I work out. You know, I treadmill and I stairs and weights and the whole deal. The whole deal. It doesn't work.
Okay.
But Mr. John Lucas.
You said when George Lucas was one of those sort of satirical porno films. Yeah. It's disgraceful.
I wish. A regular person's going to go nuts. Silly kind of love. It's fun. So,
In a way, he's the old model, replaced by Star Wars being the new stormtrooper.
Yeah. And then mostly I sit there looking miserable and quiet. Great. It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
Well, it's like a big family.
Gentlemen,
So I can look and I can smile. It's very alive. It's real. And I can get them to come over, and I don't have to have a pickup line. And action.
So that
I'm
I
a
can
bachelor
date.
now. I'm a bachelor now. I got a date. So, I've just done it ever since. And, I get encouragement from my doctor, and I get encouragement from.
So what do you do?
I mean,
It's the same.
somebody told me you already have 5 episodes already done already.
Well, and I think that you'll change your life. Again, that's a long time. Although I'm going back to my elementary school 50th reunion.
You're kidding.
Yeah, next weekend. That'll be exciting. Maybe she'll be there.
Elementary.
I'm hot,
I can imagine.
but I'm hot too. But I'm cool. You know what I'm saying?
I wish I could say the same. What could that be?
May the force be with you. Her left Lucas at his Skywalker Ranch.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So now you put her in S&M clothes. You have some weird, creepy little S&M thing going on, George.
Buy a yacht, George. Buy a build one. It's gonna be great. You gotta do it. I said, this thing is amazing. I basically buy what I love.
You know, with Yoda, was he behind something?
In this one?
Yeah.
No. Those of you who are here are the fans of episode 1, and I love each and every one of you.
Hooray! George Lucas, and I believe
This is the best one.
Lucas can hear us right now. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can.
Terry Gannon with you, Chandra Wilson, and Ricardo Chavira from Desperate Housewives. 30-year anniversary. It's a nice way to spend it here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Happy New Year.
That's the interview from a car.
What is next for you, sir?
That sleeve looks
Right
stuffed.
now we're working on an animated TV series
So
of Star Wars, and then working on Indiana Jones, and I'm working on a show about the Tuskegee Airmen.
That's right. We've got another Indiana Jones, right?
So good to know about it.
All of that. You've got the clothes off. So good luck with that.
Yeah, well, we're still working on Indiana Jones, but hopefully we'll get it going.
Great.
What?
Thanks for being with us here.
Okay.
The guy in
Oh, we got the best parts coming up.
You seem happy.
I am very happy.
Just wait, Jerry. It ain't over. It ain't over, dog.
That boy is our last hope.
Here we go.
No, there is another.
I'll start with me. I'm Rick. I'm the producer.
Hi, Rick.
Let's kick ass.
Hey, Rick.
Dude, I'm so fucking happy.
You know, it's great. It's absolutely great.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. It was fantastic.
Natalie is fantastic.
It's going to be fantastic. I mean, it's going to be
absolutely fantastic, and it's awesome. I'm enjoying absolutely awesome.
I'm so happy. George is so happy. It's just fantastic. This is grim. This is seriously grim. This is fucking grim. These are his engines, which play the most crucial part in the movie. The engines, look at that. And his engines are completely the pods are really badly not done. I had we have a charter plane and we are leaving a charter plane in Prague. This is awesome.
All right. Here we go.
Rick. Oh my God. You now have your ears up.
Everybody always remembers the first time they've ever made love and who that person was.
What is that all about?
Oh my God. Oh.
Bravo.
Jeez.
Bravo.
Boys, what did you think of that?
That. Wow. Good job. I mean, that was a lot. Like watching him do an interview in a Letterman jacket in a Rose Parade from an old timey like Model T car. Like, oh yeah, it's going great. Yeah, we're doing a cartoon show. Yeah.
There's so much
He didn't
to
even sound
unpack
like he's
with it.
moving. It's like he had an Industrial Light and Magic or like Ben Burt like pre-record his lines and like sync it up with his mouth or something. Like
it's that whole thing is.
Am I the only one who thinks that his sleeve looked like it was stuffed with tissue or something? That's Letterman jacket.
I never noticed
that. Was a Letterman jacket. It was amazing.
Jesus.
Oh.
Eric, what do you want to say?
I'm just saying, like that interview in particular, it's like still on Star Wars' YouTube page.
Yeah.
And it's actually like a 14-minute like vlog almost.
Yeah,
of
it's weird.
The whole day. And like I don't know, it's just so indicative of George Lucas. The Lucasfilm cameras are like better quality than the TV cameras.
Yes.
So like you cut to that close up of George and it's like 720 at least. Like it's like 2007. But then you like you cut to the wide on TV and you're like in 480 or whatever. I don't know. It's amazing.
Oh man,
you're welcome.
That's
Gannon.
good, Pat. Nice.
Pat.
That's incredible. Oh my god, I'm so glad people enjoyed it. That was something that I really wanted to do. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
It was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
It's like,
that needs to be a shirt. That needs to be a shirt.
That's like me and Scott will not leave from a hangout without saying it like 5 times.
Oh yeah,
that's absolutely
that
fantastic.
definition that you had at the beginning. Apparently our definition.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a shirt. I'm telling you right now,
dude.
That needs to be.
Eric actually wrote the definition to that. That was one big contribution he made because I couldn't think of a definition. Eric look, I can actually get it pulled up real quick.
Hey,
we can read it back to the audience.
That is a shirt right there, frankly.
But how
guys
true
in the chat,
is it?
Would you buy that? That is amazing Georgism.
Let me get it pulled up again. And there's so many parts to this video that whenever I was making it, it made me laugh out loud. And I think it's one of the most important parts when making any content, that it's funny, that it has to make the creator like giggle. And every time, like the absolutely fantastic part with Rick McCallum, every time I had it, I was laughing so hard because it was just like fantastic, absolutely fantastic. He says that literally every interview. He at least says something, absolutely something. It could be brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's so freaking funny. Be on the lookout for that. But Georgism, okay. So definition number 1: the ability to be self-aware.
Noun. It's a noun.
It's a noun. You're right. It is a noun. Amidst your own fictional empire. Okay. Which is true. It's so true. So true. Now, the second definition, Eric, this is purely Eric. Worshipped by fanboys, even if you don't care. And that is that is so true.
That's the best part.
Because look, this, and you know what's weird? This whole video is in tribute to this concept. And it wasn't even something I was aware of when making the video. Okay. Wasn't even aware of it. But I literally made a video about the worshiping of George Lucas, right? We worship this dude because he's so funny and goofy, but it's so weird how in turn this video became this definition, and I didn't even try to. I wanted to identify with that first definition, but the second definition is actually what it ended up being, like truly to its core. It's so weird how Eric, like, to me, I think he found that theme so quickly. It's really impressive. It's really impressive.
But it's funny that we have this, like, and again, like we were saying earlier, that's not the only reason we worship him. It's also that there is that like innate genius, right? That like wisdom, that like stuff hidden under just a shroud of thriving mediocrity. Like, and I mean that in the best way. Like, I know. I love the man. But it is just like he's like, you don't meet a person like George Lucas. Like, he's like once in a lifetime, man. He's like a bolt of lightning.
He is
just sharp as a whip, but like cool as a cucumber. Because I can't think of any other things to say. Like,
okay,
like him. Can I say the most underrated shot was the shot of all those people and then him in the back, leaning up against the wall in the sun in the aviators.
We have been sitting
like your drunk uncle at a family reunion.
Look, I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up for anyone that missed the shot. One thing, Eric, I want to pass to you real quick. What was your favorite segment of the whole video? Because I think if you broke this video down, and it's definitely into segments of like 5 or 6. But what was your favorite segment?
I think when you kind of hard cut all those moments of George laughing.
Yeah.
If I literally have one moment that's my favorite, it's that one clip of George being like, "Oh!" Like, have you ever heard George make that noise?
It's
Ever?
so human.
And the fact that he's
so
just like
weird.
a human being that we're just like laughing, like, and like that was an interview for Phantom Menace. Like, I don't know if it was BBC, but it was definitely a British channel.
Yeah.
And I don't remember, like, they were showing him some sort of display, and I think they made some sort of joke, and that was just like his response. And I'm like, I don't think I've ever heard George make any sort of like noise above a certain decibel level.
Yes,
he's just like.
So wait, we'll watch a clip of it.
Jar Jar Binks.
So the clips this all came from, Eric identified the fact that one came from a British TV show. This one's obviously from the beginning.
Right, there we go.
I thought y'all would like this moment. All right. So this next clip coming up is actually from Beverly Hills Cop 3. He was a cameo in this movie, and he goes, "Hey," he's waiting in line for an amusement park ride, and Eddie Murphy cuts him off. Okay, dead serious. This is an actual clip from that movie. So everything found in this video was all found generally through YouTube, and the effort I went through finding it was kind of interesting. I had to literally search George Lucas and just type in any word after it. Whatever word you think of, I would type of George Lucas farts, and I would find a video that I've never seen before. This was one of them. I typed in George Lucas cameo, and this is like the second thing to come up.
A future episode of Let's Find George doing things.
Oh, dude, I typed in some vulgar and some messed up stuff to find this footage. I did, because there's no other way to find it. There's no other way to find it, and especially this one. This shot of George hanging Seth Green. Do you know how hard it was to find this? You realize how difficult it was to find this shot? This is not an easy shot to find. Half of these were Eric and I sitting together, like literally. Katie would have gone to bed. Eric and I would be up till about 3 or 4 in the morning, just like going through interviews and like finding the best moments.
George Lucas footage.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Jerry, do you have a favorite spot in this video? Is there anything in particular that stands out to you?
Oh man, that like there was a couple of things he said that I've never really heard him say before, but there was also just like the part with him and the aviators was great.
Oh, it was amazing.
Oh man.
Like, this is one of my favorite shots where he flips the coin at the Rose Bowl game and he goes, "Ha." So fun.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
Well, it's like a big family.
Watch right here.
Oh,
I can look and I can smile.
That's very.
I don't know. And the way it's cut is supposed to be funny, but like this, I knew you'd get a kick out of this instant cut.
And here
this,
we
like,
are,
smash
30
cut.
years later, and Star Wars, it's here.
Hey, it just can't be killed.
I love that. Hey, it just can't be killed.
But it perfectly sums up this definition.
Please kill me. Like, but not in
It's
the best
amazing.
way. Yeah, because like we love the sequels and stuff, and I don't think he's as like harshly against it as people think he is. But
No,
it's
I don't think so
like,
either.
That is so George. He's so dark humor and stuff. You got to highlight Rick's comment here. I'm sorry. He said that George Lucas is the Wendy's comment there. You got to bring that up. He's the Wendy's chili of the entertainment world, and there is
I like that.
more accurate that I think I've ever heard in my life. That is absolutely 100% accurate.
Good.
Rick, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Oh man, I hope everyone had the chance to enjoy this. And yes, the second I'm signing off and Pete goes on with ATG, I'm gonna make this unlisted and I'm gonna make sure I send it to all the right people. And you need to send it to all the right people too. And speaking of, if you haven't yet, please take some time and donate to it's tiny.cc/Pod-A-Thon. I don't know where we're at in our goal. I can get some research done real quick and I'll look to see where we're at in our goal, and
guys,
I'll keep everyone updated. Let's see.
Go, you look, Scotty. Go ahead. Like seriously, you guys are blowing us away right now with all this. This is just amazing, and thank you so much for coming on here and, for one thing, listening to us babble about the weird little quirks of George Lucas that we love and stuff. Like Eric, how many hours of George Lucas footage do you think you've watched over the last couple of weeks?
Okay, I was about to say, in the last couple of weeks? Probably like I don't know, like seriously, probably like 3 hours worth of footage.
That's still impressive. That's still impressive.
The sad part is a lot of it like I've watched before.
Yes, that's true.
When Scott and I found that Rose Bowl highlight, we showed it to all of our friends. Like in the
yeah.
showings.
I can't believe you guys hadn't sent that to me yet, but I'm so glad that you didn't.
There was some things we had talked about months back that we needed to make a supercut video because like there was one night where we watched that clip and we watched the whole, and I don't know, Eric, there really is something wrong with us. They're really truly to our core because him and I watched, and I'm not kidding, all of the Force Awakens premiere video on Star Wars YouTube, and then we proceeded to watch TLJ's as well in the same night.
Nice.
So we sat there for 4 hours and watched all of the premiere videos
more than 3 hours in. But George Lucas isn't in that the whole time. But
no, but it's still.
I count it towards your tally, though.
Yeah.
But some of the things we found were interesting and will be used for future things because a lot of the comments that were made were either not fulfilled or definitely fulfilled, which is really kind of interesting. Like Harrison's, I will say this before we send this off. Harrison's interview at Celebration was really interesting because he said something along the lines is like, "Well, I wouldn't say Han Solo's dead." He said that exactly, and I'm like, "Did he know?" I really,
he quoted Monty Python.
Yes,
he's like, "I'm not dead. I'm just asleep," or whatever.
Yes, and I'm like,
Getting better.
So, everyone watching, I'm glad you enjoyed the video. I'm so glad we can have my good friend Eric Cotterman on to share his art.
My good friend Eric Cotterman.
Okay, our good friend. I will say this:
you will pull like a Biggs and a Luke. I say, "You're my best friend." Goodbye, Luke.
Look, Eric, it was a blast having you on, man. Anything you want to plug, anything you want to shout out real quick before we end our little time together, buddy?
Oh, yeah. The Bombad Cast is on Saturdays on the Beyond the Blast Doors network. And I'm there like, I don't know, 1/16 of the time. So
I don't know, 1/4 more like it.
So, yeah, watch that. That's
fantastic.
The only place you can find me.
Eric, give us one last thing. I think it's the common phrase known in the Bombad Cast. What should the wonderful people at home do tonight? Okay.
Stay Bombad.
Yeah! Fantastic. Fantastic. Look.
And you'll catch us at Celebration. We're all 30.
Jerry's already 30.
I'll be halfway to 40.
Jerry will be 40.
I forgot we're probably the young guys in this. I forgot about that.
Yeah, maybe. Look, Eric, I'll talk to you soon, buddy. See you later.
All right, man. All
right, bye, dude.
Peace, man.
Absolutely fantastic.
That was the best gift you could have ever given me.
Oh, Jerry, thank you. I hope the chat feels the same way. And you know what? I'm pretty sure the old man, Father Time is here with us.
I didn't keep. That was all J-Ro. It was all J-Ro.
You know, it's not the years, it's the mileage.
Oh.
I think we're all gonna get the
yeah, you'll all make it eventually. Yeah.
Right.
Guys, that was great. I gotta say that video, that George Lucas video, blew me away. Like I want to like skip my show and go watch it again. It was so good. It was so good. A lot of work clearly went into it. Thank you for putting that together. That was really great. So yeah, so let me give a quick update on where we are. And let's see here. We are in a spot where we have, look, guys, we are hovering like a battle droid, like just floating, firing so close to hitting 1,500. We are at $1,355. I was speaking to Alex Segura a little bit earlier today. He's going to be on in about 15-20 minutes with me. Let's hit 1,500 before he shows up. Let's hit 1,500 if we can.
Oh yeah, we got it.
Come on, guys.
$145. See what we can do. See what you can share on that. And we're just having just a great time here. And like I said, Alex will be on. You know what? Real quick, let me just remind you. Look, at 9:00, when I'm done speaking with Alex, we are going to pull the winner of this beautiful thing. I'm going to bring Josh on in a second to hand me back the thing. But this is where this is what you're trying to win. In the meantime, guys, seriously, you have raised $1,355 plus 500 Canadian dollars from the amazing and wonderful Semper Fi Danny, who did that. That's our one our big award. Hold on, let me just see if I can bring Josh in so I can get that the thing back from him. Hold on, Josh, are you there, buddy? Hey, how are you?
There's the man.
You're below me. Would you be able to hand me would you be able to push up the helmet so I have it so I can give it away in a little over an hour?
Mike is muted. Now I am unmuted. Perfect.
Yes. How are you?
I said a lot of terrible things about you while I was muted.
Oh,
but,
I am
after
100%
that,
sure. I'm 100%
let me just
sure.
add, Pete, you have really upheld the movie magic with that box that you have in your lap, but we will get it done.
Look, guys, it's been a long day.
Here it goes, Pete. Here it goes.
Hey, you were talking about the Lions?
Here it is. Thank you so much.
Wow, movie magic.
Beautiful New Jersey. We are ready. We also we made a commitment to that when we hit that $500 mark early on in the first hour. We had we were going to give away an issue of Star Wars Galaxy magazine that I wrote in, and so we'll pull that as well.
How come we didn't find that on Bounty Hunters?
You know
that would have been
helpful.
Because it's Star Wars Galaxy from 1990, whatever. So we'll be giving that away as well at 9:00. But how you guys? You know, I do want to say this. Look, we blew away our number today, and I've been waiting for a reason to open this up. And
yes,
usually on Friday nights when we were doing streaming Star Wars, I was
1375. 1375.
1375. Another 20. Excellent.
Yep.
I just want to.
Andy's yelling in the background. He's drunk. He's fine.
I just want to raise his
shirt on. No,
shirt on. God, I hope he's got a shirt on. But here's to everybody for all you've done for us today. Thank you so much. Cheers. May the force be with you all.
My empty glass.
Great day.
3 glasses now.
That is good. Movie magic.
Fantastic.
So you know what I'm going to do, if you don't mind. Let me do that thing where I read the names of everybody. It's a longer list now, but we do have a little bit of time. But let me read the list here.
Bring it on.
Josh and Andy, Holly Chronicles. Beth and Chris J-Ro. Dale E. Skywalker. Cam Ray. Dave at Vintage Toy Rush. Gilster 37. Mimi and Tete. John, James, and Lacey from the Resistance broadcast. Thank you, guys. Fellow podcasters getting it done. As Father and Son, Scotty Gibson, Chibigon 89, Chris King, Apprentice Ewok, David from BTBD Live. Look at him bringing it home. Rural Farm Boy, multiple times during the day.
Farm Boy. Thank you, sir. He doesn't even have electricity, and he's donating. Come on.
Rick Villanueva. Peter Viox, Blue Bantha Milk, Mr. and Mrs. Daft Paran, Framey, as we like to know them, Martin Keeler, Dookie Doo, Andrew Staley, another anonymous, Ion Cannon, there he is, the Rebel Base Card, Nick Milky, Richard, no last name, another from Nick Milky, anonymous, Gannon 136, Randaroo, Gillenorian Saber, Baby. I love everybody's names here. Baby Scott J. Rose, one and only mum. That's cute. That's cute.
You didn't put the Baby Scott J-Ro part in.
Baby Scott. Oh, Hunter. Hold on. Bounty Hunter, Baby Scott J.
Yes.
There we go.
Oh, that is locked. That is locked. Oh, I finally learned it. It's J-Ro.
I kind of like the new Scotty R Bounty Hunter team, though. I like
Baby.
Jay Witt, Matthew Birthday Boy Harrington.
Woo! Happy birthday, Matt. Happy birthday, Matt. Happy birthday, Matt. This was all for your day.
Him and Dale. We did it for John at Super Awesome Geek Show. Todd Hoffman from WSTR Media. Thank you. Another great show hanging out with us. Voltron, apparently a big giant robot made a donation. John and Teddy Bauman. Salacious Rum.
Yes.
T.A. Granville. Gen Shabby Chic. And Mark, unfortunately, his name disappeared before I had a chance to read it. But gentlemen and ladies, this has been a wonderful day. We are
man,
we're coming close to the end here. From an around the galaxy standpoint, I'll just I'll get a little bit share a little bit here. We have been talking for about 3 weeks to try to get all this together, to put the show together so that we could raise a little money. We really, honestly, it's not that we had low expectations of the fans. We just had low expectations for what people could do. I mean, it's a crazy.
We had low expectations for our draw, right?
I had low expectations for what Jerry was going to do, but
we were all worried. We were all concerned.
Nice. Frankly, nice. We love Jerry. It's a crazy time, right? So asking people to get involved in any sort of a donation or any sort of a charity event is hard, and so hopefully and thankfully you all found it in your hearts to be able to donate to Make-A-Wish and to bring it on home.
It's the right thing to do.
Yeah, it is, and it's funny how it happened so quickly and how things kind of come together as they do. I'm just trying to pull up the latest number.
Can I just say this?
Yeah, you can.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Rez just did it for me, but I did it for him.
This is the way.
Oh, see, I'm with the chat.
Sick.
The chat is with me. I'm with the chat. The chat is with me.
Yep.
The chat is with me. Hey, can you guys talk for a second while I see what I can do here?
Yeah. We'll riff it up. I got Jerboy over here. What's going on over there?
Hey, not much, man.
Tell the folks about $5. Now, I do want to point out one thing. If you go to the Make-A-Wish link, it's going to say like donate $50, but there is a little place underneath it that says other amount. No shame in that. Throw in $5. All right. Like, look, you were gonna get an extra topping on your pizza tonight.
Ooh,
yeah.
Instead, throw in $5 because go ahead, Scotty. You got it.
You see that right there? Every $5 keep moving it. Every $5 will get you a chance to win this helmet. You know what Pete's doing? Pete's a boomer, and Pete is entering everything in old school. He's taking little papers and cutting them up and writing names on them to put into a pumpkin for all the kids at the pumpkin farm. Who gets the biggest pumpkin?
He does this to me too, Pete.
Oh,
man. Shaming you for being possibly halfway to 40 by the time you celebrate.
Who gets the biggest pumpkin, Pete? Who gets the biggest pumpkin?
We have. I do have to say, is that me? Listen, guys,
celebration. You're all gonna smack you so hard.
Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna want to show up because
this is Bombad Unleashed right now, and this is what you have to deal with. All right,
dangerous.
You can't let them just follow us.
We have guests coming. We have guests.
Okay, we have a very distinguished guest.
But we have. I want to say, and I want to thank. Let me just pull it up here. Let me try to get it right. You'll see that Death Star has exploded. Right-hand corner.
Gosh! Oh my gosh!
Because Amy Mulder has pushed us over the $1,500 range and made a donation here at $1,525. Ladies and gentlemen, we did it.
Oh my gosh, guys.
Say Bombad.
Who was that? Say it again. Can I hear that? Who was that?
That was Amy Mulder.
Amy.
Oh,
thank you.
Look, Atlantis.
The Bombad Boys, thank you. George Lucas, thanks you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
thank
Pete.
you all.
Yes, sir.
Don't forget about Pete. He thanks you.
Yeah, I do thank you. I definitely.
That was awesome. And look, Semper Fi Danny's cheering in the chat right now.
And on top of that, she actually, Semper Fi Danny used her Canadian dollars to push us over $2,000 raised.
It's
which is
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
We literally had in mind $500. Then we went to $1,000, and then we said probably hit 1,500, and now we've gone over what would equate to over $2,000, which is
it's
Would it
fantastic.
be $2,020? Is that like? Cause you say
No, we're not. Look, this is tier 1B. Now we have to go to tier 1C. It's fine. It's fine. We're still going.
Right. Sorry, yeah. Just forget I'm even here.
No. That was a good segue. Shut up.
That was excellent. So
now
that
that's
doesn't
amazing.
mean you don't have to stop, because again, every single dollar goes to Make-A-Wish Foundation and
keep it going. We got another hour or two.
Continues to drive. That's right. We have
Alex Seguro's coming up. Jeez, that's gonna bring in like 1 million. That's gonna be at least $1 million interview.
I think yeah, I don't want to say it, but he said he would write a check for $1 million. I don't know if that's true or not, but
wow,
I don't know. I hope he's not watching right now, because
thanks, A-Seg. That's what I call him.
I just think it's incredible that everyone has reached out and sent it to people. I know I blew a bunch of my group texts up about it, just like, please, take your time. I mean, $5 is a huge difference in someone's life who doesn't have it. So like, there's a ton of people in the chat right now that is just like really uplifting for this. And sometimes as a Star Wars community, you see nothing but the negative, but I'm gonna be real honest with you. Today has been literally one of the best days in this fandom for me personally. I will never forget this day as long as I live, because all the people that have contributed, it's absolutely insane.
The other thing that's really amazing, and this speaks to the community, the Star Wars fan community, it's the fans on a regular basis. It's other podcasts who got involved and joined us to do a show or donate or promote. And that's what this community is all about. That's what this community is 100% all about. And so thank you from the bottom of our heart. And I don't know, we definitely need to celebrate when we all get together at Celebration. I'll tell you what, we hit $1,500. When we get together at Celebration, we'll I think Beyond the Blast Doors is going to buy a round of drinks for our fans.
Oh,
right?
Heck yeah!
So
100%.
Gonna have to, man.
It's incredible. It's just, I don't know. I'm very proud of all of us, and a lot of people put a lot of work into this, and it's so funny. It's all been balanced. Pete and Josh, I know, put a lot of work into this whole project we're doing right now. But in terms of everyone putting work into their own panels, it's just been so good. And like, I don't know. I'm gonna honestly, and I'm not this way, but I'm probably gonna rewatch most of what we did today. Like what everyone did. Like, it's just good. It was just fun, and it wasn't cluttered, and it didn't look bad. That's the one thing I will say. This looked professional. It felt professional, and I hope everyone saw that. That's a big thing that we here at Beyond the Blast Doors believe is everything needs to look good. Okay, I think it's a good standard. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. It's all of it. Yeah. And
and I think everyone looks good, especially in the chat. I mean, I can't even fathom getting in and joining. We had us personally as Holo Chronicles, we have the Pala Boys in here. The Pala Boys have been here all day. And I'm missing I haven't even mentioned like our favorite fans. I shouldn't say favorite, our best fans, which are like Matt from Enid and Rural Farm Boy who's in there, and Nick and Nick. Keep going. It goes on and on and on, and they've been here. And I don't care if they popped out to take a lunch break, they came back, or they left their phones on. Looks like a view, which is awesome. They hit like, and thank you so much. And what that means is more people are going to see it, so that we can raise more money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation and to propel us further to another situation like this, another thing where we can, I want a platform personally for the network, and this is for everyone out there, that allows us, and Scotty said it best, a positive podcast for 12 hours about what we all love, and that's Star Wars, with some amazing guests. Pete, name the guests off for us. Some of the guests you had on.
I'm actually just going to bring it up because I don't want to miss any. They were so good. We started with Noah and Corey from Vessel Run Radio. We brought in Alex Damon from Star Wars Explained. We had the Pala Boys come in. We had Silver Colored Knob. We had our bounty hunting game, and then we had Fantha Trucks. We had Mark Newbold, who man, you could talk to that guy, and you'll never reach the depth and reach he's had. He's had so much fun. just a great guy. We had Shannon had Best Spin Bulletin, and they talked. It's really funny because I thought Best Spin Bulletin we were going to talk about leaks, and they did do some of that. But what they really talked about was sort of what the process of how these leaks are happening, and I thought that was more interesting than just more spoilers and more leaks. We had Sisters with Sabers who had the courage to get up and say, hey, here's what John Boyega's interview meant, and brought such a great perception and perspective on what it means to them. You guys, the Holo Chronicles, you had your haul, which was so much fun. It was awesome. I love the fantasy football picks. That was great. And then
the draft.
And then, of course, we just got the Why We Love George Lucas video, which is the next 2 million views.
Belly laughs over here. Over here. George Lucas, dude.
And
I love George so much. Sorry, go on. Just go on.
It's okay.
But this has been a crazy day. And again, more successful than I had even imagined, and it's all thanks to everybody who's
you guys
in the chat. And again, it's we're gonna tally everything up at the end once Alex Segura joins us. We'll do sort of a truncated around the galaxy. If you have questions, make sure to put them in the comment section because we'll try to get to some of them. We're gonna probably just do 10 questions with him and talk to him a little bit about the process for writing that book, and then we're gonna call it a day. Guys, I know,
not Pete, before we give away that beautiful baby.
Yes,
show the baby. Okay. Hold on.
Show me the baby.
He's gonna hand it to you. Oh, never mind.
I would like to see the baby.
I would like to see the baby.
You have the baby. I was looking for it. I forgot.
You threw it over here to New Jersey. Remember
that?
That was easy. Through the hyperlink.
Yes. So I'd like to see the baby.
Have a world between worlds portal right there, like above Josh.
Yeah, we actually do. We this is how we.
This is easy. It's the best way to transfer files. I have to be honest.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like hand it through the floor for Pete.
Right.
All right. So we have how long till Alex gets here?
Probably anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes.
So we get a few minutes. So we need to talk a little Star Wars. So we gave her thanks and our love. So now that this is a weird collection right here. If you look at the four piece, never on screen before.
That's right.
So we're making history. BTB.
Scotty finally joins the club. Put some shades on. So let's talk a little Star Wars. So so what are you guys thinking? What's on your mind? If we take away some of the things I heard today that kind of blew my mind. One was, I forgot. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I need your help right now. I had one. It wasn't very good, so I just eliminated it really quick. So tell me, what's going on? Let's give the fans a little more Star Wars before we bring in Alex Segura. So here we go. All right. So Gotti.
Yeah.
Top moment in Star Wars ever in your life, excluding that one where you got a bunch of hits. I'm just kidding. Tell it.
Top moment in Star Wars, truly. And you know what? I've gone on Bomb Backcast and said it before. I think I might have said it on Pete's show as well. I wasn't around for the No I Am Your Father. A lot of course, the prequels were spoiled by the original trilogy. There wasn't that much twist really in Star Wars ever. I think one moment that will stand the test of time for me, like a moment in terms of what it did for me in fandom and how it made me think and how it made me feel. And literally I get teary-eyed when I think of it. It's so lame that like something like this will make you teary-eyed, but like it was truly the most perplexing, like turned your head, like flipped everything you thought you were going to get out of something. Like it just changed everything. And it was the reveal of the in the first episode of The Mandalorian. That truly, honest to God, like I will go the rest of my life and I will gladly tell people that moment and how much it changed. Just like everything.
Look at him. He's right over your shoulder too. And ironically, you cut out immediately as you gave the reveal. It was the reveal of the, and then, but I got it.
Coming from inside the house, Scotty.
In context, it was the child.
It was the child, and I remember texting everyone that night, and like it was just,
it's true.
It was amazing. It was literally one of the most amazing moments of my entire life. Like I ran around the house screaming.
I'm literally putting entries into the bucket here.
Boomer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
No,
Trick or treat.
By the way,
Little guys.
$13.55. We got another $20.
Another 20
from the fandom.
Dolores.
Thank you, Dolores. Thank you for having the name. So yeah, everything's going. Scotty, I can't disagree with you at all because I remember Andy and I were at Andy's house, and I was sitting in a very low, childlike chair when I first saw the child. And I remember it was not. No, I'm not joking. I was getting ready to depart on a business trip that would take me away for 2 or 3 days. And I said, I'll swing by. We're gonna watch The Mandalorian together. And it was like, good. Oh, this is awesome. Star Wars. They're shooting. It's awesome. It feels very Star Warsy, but different. And then when that little freaking hand came out, I was like, what is going on?
Dude.
And then
I felt like every guy who's ever shown a magic trick by that street magician who's like, oh. And you walk around and you point, and you're like, no.
We did, but I was so low to the ground in a child's chair that I couldn't get up and dance around. So it was more of a like that was my child reaction, which exactly. I was like,
that's me getting off of any chair.
Yeah. So no, I can't disagree with you at all because that was a fantastic moment. Although I was alive to actually get the whole I'm your father and be like, what? Yeah, I did that.
Now you can't hear anything.
And my dad was like, so that was I like that when dad, because I could do that with my kid. My kid was like, what? And I was like, yeah. See what's going on here? Yep. And she's like, wow. And then we didn't watch the next one for a few years. But anyway, that's all right. I have girls.
Gary.
Not that they don't like Star Wars, but they didn't.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you said favorite moment Star Wars all time.
Yeah.
And you kind of said, are you meaning just favorite moment in, like you mentioned Scotty's video, okay? Are you talking just in fandom even? Like just anything to do with Star
I'm just saying when you run into Star Wars, how do you feel? What's your favorite moment when you run into it? That's my thing. Because I would say, I don't want to step on you, but I would say very quickly, my favorite moment was not anything related to the movies or the shows. It was when I woke up on Christmas morning and I had an AT-AT under the tree.
I have a picture of that.
And I was like,
not you getting yours, but me getting.
That's
that would
really
be weird.
creepy. By the way,
that would be a little weird.
Yeah.
Let me get my
15-year-old you and the kid. I was like, get him out of here.
I was not 50 at that time.
15, I said 15. I understand you're 10 years older than I am.
Daddy's got him riled up. Daddy's got him riled up.
Anyway,
let me grab your cane. Hold on.
Oh my gosh.
I'm quitting the network.
Pete, you're too sensitive. You're old. Just deal with it. So am I. Look at this.
I'm in the to get cheesy and stuff here or sappy, whatever. Like I have to say that probably one of my favorite Star Wars memories right now is actually getting to go to Celebration in 2019. Finally.
Yeah.
Lifelong Star Wars fan. I had the AT-AT, I call, AT-AT, AT-AT, whatever. I got the 90s version of that thing, I had that moment and all that kind of stuff. It's always fun to get the Christmas present. It's always the first time you watch a movie is always a special moment. But there's just something about that 2019 celebration that my life has just gone on a completely different course in the sense of Star Wars and my involvement with the fandom and stuff like that, getting connected with stuff like this and all of that. If I had not gone to I'm going.
That was solid, bro.
Not gone.
If I had not gone to
Shabby Mark doesn't like
celebration,
if
then perhaps I would not be here today.
All right, everyone.
Northerners.
Right.
Do your best, Pete Futzer.
One second. I'm still talking. But oh my gosh, we're gonna do this again.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Around the Galaxy with Pete Fletcher.
Oh my, Pete!
Really stepping on that moment. I was gonna talk about meeting you, but screw it. So
I'm about to make a wish about Scotty, and it's not gonna be happy.
Welcome to the Make an Enemy.
Is the landline ringing? Is the headline read?
What's happening?
Rotary.
Is it a telethon or a podathon?
By the way, let me focus in. Let me focus us all in.
Yes.
It's been nearly 12 hours.
I'm pretty sure Alex Segura has popped in and went, whoa,
and left. It's been nearly 12 hours. We need Alex Segura to come on. Bad boys. But thank you for sharing, Jerry. I agree that it's when you go out there and meet people and get it. And I agree too, because coming out and doing pods, Andy brought me Star Wars back into my face. You know, I had it all the way. I had it nostalgically. I had it in my history. I had it in my basement in bins. And Andy was actually, I'll give him full credit. He's not on right now. He's in the room, but he's very tired.
Yeah.
Andy, come over here. Come over here. Sit on my lap. He just said, hey, come on, you're a collector. And I pulled out all my stuff and I was like, I am. I just haven't ever done anything with it. But it was those moments. Are you coming? He's coming. It was those moments that I gotta move the mic.
See that beautiful beauty.
It were those moments.
Is his shirt on? Okay, his shirt's on.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
My headphone. I can still hear myself. It's fine. I'm talking. They can hear me. It were those moments where we decided to do a pod together, and that's what being in Star Wars is all about, right? It's having fun, brotherhood, sitting on each other's laps every now and then. It's fine. It's Star Wars. And it's positive.
I feel like this might happen more often than we think.
Well, yeah, not and videotape it, which is also weird. Love you, bro.
Jesus.
Oh well.
He disconnected my headphones when he sat down. I can't hear any of you, but that's all right. That's all right. It didn't matter. It was the moment. All right, Pete. I think you're up. Scotty's up. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Segura has arrived. So I'm going to take you guys out as quickly as possible. All right, guys. I'm going to take you guys out. Hang on. I'll see you guys later. Thank you much.
Hey.
Mr. Segura, how are you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Good to be here. Yeah. Thanks. I'm glad it all worked out.
Yeah, this has been you have missed 11 and a half hours of madness. And
how are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good considering I've been talking for most of it, but luckily we've had 12 great shows, different shows across our network, and been really excited to be here. But Alex, thank you so much, and I'm so excited because you have, I guess it's the latest Star Wars book, right? Poe-Dameron Freefall is the latest one to drop, I think.
Yes. I think
well, Thrawn just hit, but yours was right before Thrawn, I guess. So
right. Thrawn just came out. So
yeah. So maybe tell us, I think, a little bit about some of the maybe just give us the overview of the story for the few people who haven't read it, who are watching at this point, just a little bit of a synopsis. And then I want to talk to you a little bit about the process, because you had this opportunity to create a story about one of the most beloved characters in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, so the big picture for the book, Poe-Dameron Freefall, is basically Poe's origin story. We meet him on Yavin 4. He's about 16 years old. As most fans know, his mom passed away, and so he's living with his dad. And it's a pretty quiet, low-key existence, and that doesn't really gel with Poe's personality. And he's got aspirations to explore the galaxy and see more and see what's around. But his dad is obviously cautious and scared and doesn't want to lose his son the way he lost his wife. And so Poe is a little emotional, intense, impetuous, and he finds this gang of mysterious folks at a nearby watering hole, and they need a pilot, and he doesn't put as much thought into it as he probably should have, and he hops aboard the ship, and halfway off the planet, he discovers they're spice runners. And so it's a story about, kind of just figuring out your place in the world and in the universe. It's very clearly Poe, the Poe we know from the beginning, but it's a journey that leads him to define himself and become the Poe we meet in Force Awakens, and how he finds his path. And I think you have to make a lot of mistakes to figure out the right thing. And it's a coming of age story, and it's also Zori Bliss's coming of age story and origin. We get to learn a lot more about her backstory and how it ties into Poe, and it adds a lot of weight to what you see on screen in Rise of Skywalker.
I think that's one thing that Disney Books and Lucasfilm has done a really nice job of during this sequel trilogy is finding different ways to tell us more of the story. And I think we've almost, as fans, come to expect that, right? We see somebody on screen, it doesn't get as much time as we might want, but we know that there's a place for us to get that content. What I'm really interested in is the process, because I imagine you were writing this before or at least sometime during the process of the Rise of Skywalker. So maybe tell us about working with the story group, what you knew, what you didn't know, what kind of parameters they might have put on you, and what that looks like. I think a lot of people have this vision of the story group being sort of this keeper of this magical giant tome of Star Wars information. But how is it working with them, and how is it working during the end of the saga?
I mean, it was great. The story group is an amazing resource, and it's a great group of people. And the way it worked basically was we had an initial conversation after I'd agreed that I wanted to do the project. We bounced some ideas around, and obviously, the story group wanted certain things had to happen in response to what was going to happen in Rise of Skywalker. So they wanted to show a little bit more of Poe's time as a spice runner. They wanted to kind of fill in the backstory between Poe and Zori's relationship and what happened to them, and what led them to be at odds when we see them in Rise of Skywalker. But those were the big beats. A lot of the kind of granular stuff and the plot points and the adventure and the kind of high level story was stuff that we came up with together, like how to best hit those notes and also make it its own thing. So it didn't feel like you're just checking boxes. So, I mean, the story group was an amazing backstop, and they were very cool about just letting me create stuff as I went along. And they really want unique voices. They don't want you just doing a templated book. I think they want you to really engage and create something new. And that was, to me, the most exhilarating part, creating new characters, new planets, and really laying the foundation, or kind of showing a deeper look at the underworld of the Star Wars galaxy, the universe, and what it's like to be a criminal in Star Wars, and what the hierarchy is, and what it would be like for someone like Poe, who is a hero and is a good person and a heroic character, and what's it like when he gets pulled into this situation that is very much not his element? How does he deal with it, and how far does he get pushed before he says, yeah, this is not for me, and this is what I should be doing?
I think that's one of the great things about Star Wars stories. I mean, even back to Han Solo in 1977, and I think that's why people jumped on their affection for Poe right away, was he is that there was always this sense that he was sort of a bad guy doing good, or at some point having that kind of a background. So when did you start first of all, how far back did you find out you were doing the story, and when did you start sort of putting, I'd say, pen to paper, but it's not 1986. So when did you start typing?
I mean, I'm terrible with dates and months and things like that. I mean, I wrote the book, the first draft I wrote pretty fast. I would say like 4 or 5 months I wrote the draft, and that was based on an approved outline. So we all went back and forth on the outline. But yeah, definitely the first or second revision were in hand when the movie actually hit theaters. And so we kind of knew the broad strokes of the film. We knew Zori, we knew Kijimi, we knew what was coming. I mean, I didn't see it until it came out, which was actually really a thrill to see it and realize a lot of the stuff happening in this film is going to be resolved, or at least explained or expanded on in the book. So, if you're a fan of the sequel trilogy, you watch Rise of Skywalker and you're like, whoa, he was a spice runner. And then you see that this book is coming out, not to get too crass about it, but that's where the answer is. That's where the book is. If you want to know more about Zori Bliss, if you want to know, about Babu, who's like an amazing character, and just to know more about the spice runners of Kijimi or Kijimi itself, I think it's all in the novel, and it's really a good setup for the movie in many ways. So,
yeah. So did you have access to the script, or did they just sort of say, we need you to fill in this sort of a gap? How much about Rise of Skywalker did you know?
I mean, I knew a few things. I don't want to get too much into the nuts and bolts of that, but it's I knew what I needed to know to kind of work on the book and deal with the characters. So it wasn't like a full on, this is everything that's happening in the movie. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And so, what's some of your, are there any Star Wars characters that you would love to write for? If you had a choice to write about any character in the Star Wars universe, who would you want to write about?
That's it's a fun question because I got him already. I got to write Poe, and Poe was by far my favorite of the sequel trilogy. And so that was really, it felt almost too good to be true. I mean, he's of the sequel trilogy. I was most drawn to Poe, and I feel like, with Rey and Finn, there's already pretty much a set backstory. You kind of know what their background is. And with Poe, it felt like there was much more space to fill in. So I'd love to go back and write a sequel to Freefall. I think there's more story to be told, before, I don't want to spoil the ending, but obviously by the end of Freefall, he's on the path that leads him to becoming the Poe we know. But I think there's another book there. But if it's not Poe, I'd love to write an Obi-Wan, young adult or earlier story, just kind of showing you a little bit more of a mistake-prone Obi-Wan trying to figure out his place in the galaxy. And he's, of all the characters in the mythos, I feel like that aren't, Skywalkers or part of that legacy, Obi-Wan is by far the most important.
That's great. Yeah, and he's had such an interesting and really tragic story. I mean, we talk about a lot of different tragic characters, but Obi-Wan certainly is one. We have a question. This is from one of our patrons, Alex.
Okay.
If you had to pick an existing Star Wars era to write a novel, in what would it be? I mean, I know you've had the opportunity to sort of write between eras right now, but what's some of your favorite time in the Star Wars galaxy?
I'd love to write one. I really liked that the Poe story happened between Jedi and Force Awakens. I feel like that's a really fertile chunk of time. I'd love to do something way before the prequels and kind of that uncharted area. I'm a big fan of just filling in the gaps and just playing in those spaces that the movies create. You have these big tentpole universal moments. That for me, that space between Jedi and Force Awakens is really fun because it's the Republic is kind of trying to reestablish itself. The Empire has fallen, but is still lingering in some way, and so there's a lot of uncertainty, and I think there's a lot of fun room to play there. I think one of the things that you see in Freefall is, the New Republic is not as capable as the Empire in terms of keeping crime in check, and so you see a lot of criminals that maybe didn't flourish under the Empire take advantage of the New Republic getting its sea legs. So I think there's a lot of room for crime and underworld stories in that period.
Yeah, I find it very interesting that that's what attracts a lot of people to Star Wars, or at least that they enjoy. I mean, the Mandalorian is proof that that's what we love about Star Wars, right? And this, and even I really enjoyed, like, in the Clone Wars season 7, just seeing the underworld with the Martez sisters and seeing it from a different perspective. I think that's
yeah.
So, anybody who writes the type of books you have written throughout your career, what obviously Star Wars has been an influence. Tell me a little bit about your first Star Wars experience? Like, how did you discover it, and how was it brought into your life, and what role did it play?
Yeah, that's a great question. I wish I had like a very specific memory, but it's really one of those things, and I've said this before, it's just Star Wars was ever present, which is cool. It's kind of a testament to what a huge cultural influence it is. I mean, I was born in 1980, and my earliest memory, I think, was seeing glimpses of Empire. By then it was probably out on VHS, and now that's dating me too, just saying VHS instead of like streaming or DVD. But, I remember being really terrified of Darth Vader. Like, Darth Vader is this kind of epic, iconic villain, and just his look is terrifying to a 2 or 3-year-old. And then with Return of the Jedi, that's when I really got, you have that mental connection, and you're like, I like the Ewoks. I know Luke and Han and Leia are the good guys, and Darth Vader is the bad guy. I remember being really creeped out when Vader's helmet reveals, his true face. And that was one of those intense moments. I was a huge Transformers fan too as a kid. So that kind of up there with that Optimus Prime dying in the Transformers movie, just one of these epic things. And then it was, like I said, it was always around and always a big part of my pop culture consumption, I guess. There was that big gap of time between the original trilogy and the prequels where you didn't know for sure if there was going to be more. You were kind of waiting around and hoping, and that's when really the expanded universe flourished, at least for me as a reader, reading different novels, and I reread the adaptations of the movies just to get any little drop of information about what was happening. And then I was first in line when the prequels came out. I was so psyched to have more Star Wars. So each of the trilogies really syncs up with a different moment in my life. Like in the sequel trilogy, now I have a son who's getting kind of into Star Wars, so that's neat to see. Like now he has 3 movies that can tie into the same time period they did for me, so it's really intense.
Yeah, I've been saying this a lot on the show with different guests, and that is one of the things that has been great about the Disney era of Star Wars, maybe even just a little bit before that, is all these different doorways for people to get involved. My son turns 8 tomorrow, and his Star Wars is the Clone Wars.
Oh, happy birthday to him! Yeah,
yeah. Thanks. But his story is Clone Wars. He loves.
Yeah.
That's his entree into Star Wars. My daughter, her entree, she's 11. Her entree was the sequels, and she loves Rey, and she loves all those characters, and it's pretty amazing how we have these sort of different ways to get into the stories. So
it's a modern mythology. I mean, I don't say that with any hyperbole. It is the modern myth, and it's the kind of thing that, you will have a lot of trouble finding someone who is not a fan and not aware of Star Wars on some level. So,
yeah. Did you feel any pressure as a result of that? I mean, it's one thing to be a Star Wars fan and go into taking on a project, but did you feel any pressure because it's so important to not to overblow it, but I mean, it has societal impact, right?
Yeah, it's when I'm writing my own novels, my private eye crime novels or comic books, it's, there's an audience there, obviously, but I'm the decider, and it's really up to me. And if people read it and disagree with it, it has impact, but I guess the cultural, like you said, the cultural footprint is not as big. It's something that there are readers and they're fans, and they'd be frustrated if I chose to do something that was out of character or not what they wanted. But, Poe is an icon. Like millions, billions of people are aware of him and his world and his friends. So yeah, there was some I'm confident in my ability. So I didn't feel like, oh my God, I can't do this. But It was more like, I want to do right by the fans. I want to do right by Star Wars and Lucasfilm, and I want to do right by the characters. And I really wanted to not only fill that space of telling the origin story, but I wanted it on its own to feel like a fun Star Wars adventure. So you read it, and maybe you're not super in the weeds and you don't know all the continuity stuff, but you read that on its own and you feel like, okay, I was entertained for the time I spent reading this book. And then obviously on the other end of the spectrum, if you're a super fan and if you know all the canon and you really want that payoff, there's enough little Easter eggs and there's a respect for what came before that it fits. It doesn't feel like, it doesn't retcon anything. It doesn't go against anything that's come before, but it also is additive. So yeah, it's hard. It's a challenge, but it was something that I was really kind of excited to do.
I feel like that's something that the current Star Wars generation needs to get, not the fans, but the creators need to get credit for, is that they are sort of working through understanding what the Easter eggs are and the connections, and it pays off for people who read the comics and the books and all the other pieces of the Star Wars canon that we live in. So that's great. So Alex, I do something on my show every episode with my guests where it's a 10 questions situation. And
okay,
I'm going to throw that. You can give a short answer, you can give a long answer, you can do whatever you want with this, but
I'm ready.
This is okay. Here we go. I'm going to throw this one.
Let me put on my glasses just to look a little bit
so you can see them on the screen. Excellent. Very important. So what is your, and you can't say Poe-Dameron Freefall, I'm sorry, but what is what is your favorite? I mean, you can, but I think what is your favorite Star Wars movie, TV show, or book? What's number one for you?
Oh man, it all goes back to Empire for me. I think Empire Strikes Back is by far. I'm a sucker for movies with unhappy endings and stories that end with the heroes like on the ropes. And I think it's just such a well-crafted film. It's really for me. It's such an integral part of that original trilogy, and it resonates, and it's really influenced the later trilogies in meaningful ways. So yeah, Empire, just because it pushes the characters to the brink and then they get to pull themselves back and save the day with the next movie.
I totally, I posted something on Twitter not too long ago about like what my favorite movie from each trilogy was. Not that anybody cared except me, but the reason I love Empire is because Empire really, changed Star Wars from just being one movie to expanding it so quickly and so well, right? And it was so well put together.
It adds it totally adds a layer of context and understanding. And you're totally right. It feels like it's a much bigger universe once you watch Empire. And that's what good sequels do. I mean, a lot of sequels try to recapture the magic of the first one. The best sequels really just add a lot of feeling. You know, if
Right.
I don't know if you're a Godfather fan, but Godfather 2 is like, many people will argue that it's just as good, if not better, than the first one, because it really pulls out the story and makes it bigger and makes it more epic. And you're totally right. That's what Empire does.
Yes, it was not Star Wars 2 Electric Boogaloo, that's for sure.
Right, exactly. Wasn't more Star Wars. Yeah.
So I have to ask you, and this is dangerous asking a content creator, but what is your least favorite Star Wars movie, TV show, or book? And I think a lot of times it just comes into which one do you go to least? Like which, you know, what's the one that's
Which one do I go to least? You know, I do like the prequels. I do watch them and rewatch them, but I think I probably go back to Phantom Menace the least. Not because I don't like it, but I mean, there were great performances like, you know, Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor, but I feel like my interest is in the second and third installments of that trilogy, so I end up watching those more often. So, but it's not that I don't like it. It's just doesn't come up in my mental queue as often.
Yeah, like when Jason Fry was on the show, he said it was whichever movie he picked was his 11th favorite. Right, it's still a favorite. You still will watch it, but it's it's on that list. Yep, absolutely.
And now us having this discussion, now I'll probably end up rewatching it.
Yeah,
just to remember, just to be like, why would I have said that?
Oh, and boy, I'll tell you what, Disney Plus with the 4K versions, holy cow, it's
great.
All of them are worth rewatching over and over and over again.
Yes, treat yourself and get it if you have not yet.
Absolutely. Okay, would you consider yourself an Imperial or a Rebel?
Oh, I'm a Rebel. Yeah. I'd like to think I'm a good guy, but you know, and then one of the fun things about Freefall is there's you know, you try to show the gray areas a little bit. You know, there's not everyone is just straight good and straight evil. There's an NRSB officer, Sela Troon, who she's obviously part of the Republic, but she's got some Empire-like tactics. You know, she's just driven a little bit more by vengeance than your typical hero. And so I like that as a writer. I like complicated characters, and I like showing conflict and different shades of motivation. So yeah, I'm definitely a part of the rebellion, but not everyone is a hero, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's true. And you've written detective novels and that sort of thing. Do you like writing the bad guy or the good guy? Which or I guess that they're integrated.
The bad guys are much, you know, they can be a lot of fun. You know, it's just a way to cut loose and really show kind of the dark side, no pun intended, to show the, you know, the darker side of characters, and just, you know, it's a great way to contrast to your heroes. You know, you show how good your heroes are by showing how bad the villains are. But I think the trick is you don't want it to seem like they're just chewing the scenery. The best villains, you know, it's the whole old Magneto argument. You know, the best villains are the ones who could be heroes, who think they're heroes. Like Vader thinks he's doing the right thing, and he is a conflicted person, a conflicted character, and so that his arc is by far it's the arc of the whole saga, the Skywalker saga, and in many ways it's his rise, his fall, and then final redemption. So the best villains think they're heroes.
Yeah, and I find it as somebody who has written and I've written fiction, but mostly journalism. But I do find it is very boring to write a very black and white pure evil, and nobody wants to read that, honestly, if they're being honest with themselves. So
it's hard to believe. Yeah, you just don't believe it. Yeah.
Okay, so here we are. What is your favorite Star Wars sound effect?
Oh, you know, the cool thing about the one of the many cool things about writing a Star Wars novel is the audiobook. You get to listen to the audio. The audio productions of these novels are so well done, and they feel like audio dramas. You know, it's not. It's obviously one narrator, one audio narrator, but the sound effects and the ships and, you know, the blaster fire. When I heard that listening to the audiobook, and I hardly ever listen to my own audiobooks beyond just like quality checks, like, okay, they got this right, but I ended up listening to it from beginning to end just because it was so much fun. Yeah, for me, it's like blaster fire or droid chimes, you know, like R2 or BB-8, or, you know, I'm really fond of the droid we created in Freefall, EV6B6, who she is unlike most droids, and that makes her, I think, memorable.
I love. I'm glad you brought that up, because I think I thought that was a great character, and I think it's interesting that droids, which are essentially, you know, for all intents and purposes, dishwashing machines and coffee makers, but they have so much personality, and I think that's an unexplored. They explored a little bit in Solo, but I mean, these machines are they're human in a way.
Yeah, no, and I have to give credit to my editor Jen Heddle, because when we were working on the book, your instinct when writing a droid is to do the typical kind of British, a little skittish, almost butlery droid.
Yep.
But she said, why don't we do it this way? And I was like, this is going to either be awesome or it's not going to work, but it worked. And I think, I have to give her a lot of credit for making the suggestion and kind of carving out that path.
That's fantastic. That's great. Well, it's funny because the next question on the list is who's of these three? And again, we'll take out
okay,
your own. But who's your favorite droid? R2, 3PO, or BB-8?
That's tough. I mean, I love BB-8, and R2 is so integral to the whole process. He's just such a big part of the story. But I have to go with 3PO. I mean, he's just so fun, and I think we can all relate to his level of fearful anxiety, and I think if we were all thrust in those situations, we would probably be C-3PO too.
Yeah, he's a bit of a worrier, and I think at the end of the day, I think that's what is appealing about him is the fact that he's kind of worrying for us, right? He's
exactly.
And,
this is not a good idea. Why are we doing this?
Yeah, right. Yeah. He's yelling at the screen for us, right? So
right.
You have the opportunity to get any spaceship or vehicle from the Star Wars universe. Which one would you like to own the most?
Oh, I mean, it's got to be the Falcon. I mean, the Millennium Falcon. Like, it's just the coolest ship in science fiction. I mean, in any form. I mean, yeah, that's my answer.
And the Lando Falcon or the Han Solo Falcon?
Han Solo Falcon. Yeah.
That's the one with the, and again, much like the droids, the Falcon is a character, right? And it's
I mean, when you see the Falcon in Force Awakens, your head explodes. It's just such a cool moment.
Yeah, I mean that putting that in the trailer was just that.
Oh yeah. I screamed when I saw it. When I saw that trailer, and that was like up here. I was like, oh my god, it's happening. This is really happening. So, and that was, I think you see it right before you see Han, which was then also another like holy crap moment. Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's great. So of these three, which is your favorite? A Porg, an Ewok, or Jar Jar Binks? You have to pick one.
Yeah, I have to go with the Ewoks. I mean, I remember loving them as kids. I've rewatched the trilogy many a time, and I don't get the gripe with the Ewoks. I dig the Ewoks. I'm Team Ewok.
Team Murder Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got definitely a lot of fight in them.
Yeah, I always love to remind people that there are a lot of bone skulls and helmets in that Ewok village. They are not to be trifled with.
Yeah, they do not mess around. You do not want to piss off an Ewok.
Exactly, 100%. And look, they were going to literally eat Han, Luke, and Chewie. They were going to eat. Yeah, they were on the stove.
It was about to take a pretty dark turn.
That story was about to get weird. Yeah. So if you could be any character in the Star Wars universe, who would you be and why?
Let's see. If you asked me this and I was maybe 10 or 12, I would have said Luke Skywalker, just because he's the hero, he's the coolest, and he's as much as heroic as Han and Leia are, Luke is the central kind of leader of the group. But I think now as I get older, I probably want to be Obi-Wan. I'd want to mentor someone and save the galaxy and save the Jedi and sacrifice myself for the greater good.
Yeah.
Not right away, but
wait till
not right now. Yeah.
Somebody posted something the other day on Twitter, and it blew me away because I never thought of it. But the last thing Obi-Wan sees just before he raises that lightsaber so it can be chopped down by Darth is Luke and Leia reunited for the first time. He sees them going in. And I was like, I have not thought of it that way myself.
Wow.
That's right. It changes that moment immediately.
Well, especially because now you have, when you just saw that movie, obviously for the first time without the context of the prequels or the context of the greater universe, you didn't know all this weight was in that moment. And so now even adding that wrinkle, it's just mind blowing.
Yeah, and again, it's what we talked about before. It's this sort of layering of all these opportunities to get more about the story behind you, and that's what again, get that Disney Plus, watch those movies, and they will be very different for you. And I think that's why I call myself a reformed prequelist. Ken Knapsack coined that term, but it's, those movies at the time when I was 20 something years old, I wasn't sure how I felt about them, but now because I know what they did for the story, it changes everything. And even people will look back at the sequels in 10 years and have a different perspective. And that must be,
for sure.
It must be thrilling for you as an author. People are going to go back and read your books, and it's going to color the whole story moving forward.
I mean, it's a thrill. It's amazing to think that someone is going to read Poe-Dameron Freefall and then watch Rise of Skywalker and have it change their perception a little bit, because people are going to watch the movie and they will react to what they see in the movie without having the added context of these books kind of filling in those gaps. And I always say the movies are the big epic moments. Those are the big universe shaking moments where everyone has a little part to play, and then the major players have some more screen time. But it's in the expanded universe that you actually get to see other stories and really kind of character-driven stuff in terms of other characters who aren't main players in the films, And even with Poe is a main player in the film, but he's going to have X amount of time and it's going to drive the plot forward. And so this is an opportunity to see what he's about, kind of fill in those gaps.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's true. After reading your story, even the very opening scene when he goes and talks to Laura Santeca, and you see what he became, right? And if you read it in chronological order and you watch it in chronological order, that everything that happened in your book has shaped this guy who's now on this mission for General Leia. It's wild, and it's
good. Well, it means a lot for you to hear that from you, and it also, when I was getting ready for the book, it was obviously enjoying Star Wars as research. It was cool to be like, I'm watching these movies and it's research, but there was also a lot of drilling down and kind of absorbing all the Poe stuff. Charles Soule has a great comic book run with Phil Noto and Angel Unzueta, and Greg Rucka has written a lot about Poe in Shattered Empire, and he wrote, a lot of Poe prose stuff too, and Resistance Reborn. So there was a lot of Poe-centric expanded universe stuff that I got to pull in and cherry pick from, like characters that show up later in his life. I could bring them into Freefall and really kind of loop it all together. And that's it. So I hope it feels like it's part of the canon and part of this long story, and it doesn't contradict what comes later or what was said to have come before. So that's the challenge and part of the fun.
And I love that. I mean, honestly, because your book wasn't out when we saw The Rise of Skywalker, and there were a lot of people who said, wait a second, we saw it. We know his story. We know what happened, but you positioned it in a way that really made a lot of sense. And again, was important to not just those scenes that he had with Zori in the movie, but built his character, which I think is great. So,
great.
I feel like I'm just praising you here, but
no, thank you. I will take it. I will be on a video chat and to be praised at any time.
Anytime. Excellent. All right. All right. We got a couple more questions left. What is your favorite trilogy? The originals, the prequels, or the sequels?
Oh man, I love them all for different reasons. I can't, the originals were the ones that got me into Star Wars and the ones that really made me a fan. The prequels reignited that, and the sequels, it's just been fun to engage with it. And each of those trilogies I've engaged with in different ways. And the sequels now I feel like even closer to, just because I've actually had a chance to be not a part of the screen, but part of the story, to think that I could weave a little bit of Poe's backstory and have anything to do with it, that makes it extra special. So I'm gonna waffle and say all three are. I love them all for different reasons.
That's fair. I'm gonna throw a bonus question before the final question. Do you have any particular Star Wars collectible that you own that's your favorite, or any sort of Star Wars item that is your favorite thing? I mean, you can see I got pops and junk behind me, but
yeah, I've got a bunch of action figures, that I've kept since I was a kid. The originals that came out with the original trilogy, and those are the ones I treasure. It's not really worth anything. I just look at them and it kind of brings me back to when I was I'm a fan. I'm still a fan. I'm always going to be a fan. But that childhood purity of being a fan, when you have no idea, you don't know how the sausage is made. You're not thinking about like, oh, the next film is in production, or, oh, they just cast this person. I think a lot of the stuff that we see now, because we're all tapped into the internet and we're seeing everything in real time. There was a time, and I don't know if you're a comic book person, but you didn't know a lot about like the creators or the storylines. You just knew that every month you'd go to the drugstore and there'd be a new issue of whatever comic you love to buy, and it would be a new adventure. And so, yes, looking at those toys reminds me of that simpler time, and I get a kick out of that.
That's great. It's great. So the last of the 10 questions is, what is your favorite Star Wars quote?
Oh man, I mean, it's gotta be the Vader Luke revelation. I mean, it's just it's a little trite. I get it. I know everyone, it's just, but for me as watching it once I was a little bit older and I had got to start and watch Star Wars on my own and kind of experience the story, it still blew me away, even though years later everyone knew that Darth Vader was Luke's father. So yeah, that's got to be it for me.
That's great. That's a great and epic moment. I feel very fortunate. I've said this recently as well, but I think it's a really interesting point, is that, I lived through that. I was 10 years old, and I remember me and my dad just talking about it for 3 years. Is he his father? Why would he say that? What does it mean? And for my daughter, who it was spoiled just because she was alive, right? I mean, everybody knows that Vader's her big moment, which I wouldn't have expected, was the revelation that Palpatine was Darth Sidious. She had no idea. She had no idea. If you can imagine watching the prequels and not knowing that.
That's cool. That's really cool. We all come at these stories from a different way, so it's always neat to hear something like that, like the way that whatever she had in her mind, and then that's a big twist for her. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's so I'm glad we all have our own Star Wars memories.
And hey, it's so hard to have a cool plot twist like that. And even back then, when it was, information could be kept under wraps, like, I'm still impressed if I'm watching a show and I'm genuinely surprised. And I think it's really tough to do that. So kudos to Star Wars.
I mean, it's just such a great universal story. Well, Alex, thank you so much for spending some time with us this evening.
Oh, my pleasure.
And this has been it's great to speak to you, and great to get your perspective. And where can people follow you online? And you're a fun follow, by the way, on Twitter.
Oh, thanks. I try to keep it light. You can find me my website is alexsegura.com. I'm pretty active on Twitter. I'm at Alex_Segura. And I will tell you good morning every day.
Yes, I've noticed that. It's great. I love it. So Alex, thank you so much. And thanks for joining us. And I hope to talk to you again soon.
Oh, for sure. Just let me know. And thanks so much for having me. It was really an honor to help close this out. It's for a great cause, and you guys are really doing some fantastic work. So thanks again.
Awesome. Thanks, Alex. Talk to you again.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Alex Segura. That was so much fun. He was a blast. I just love some of that insight. I always love kind of trying to understand, and that's why I love doing Around the Galaxy, is just I like to understand the fans' perspective. I mean, he's obviously an author, and he's written a really fun book in Poe-Dameron Freefall, but it's a lot of fun to be able to get that different perspective and understand what made somebody a fan, because we all bring that to the story. So I'm gonna do my best to try to bring in some of our other hosts, and let's wrap up this day. It's 9:00 somewhere. It's 9:00 here in New Jersey. It's 6:00 out west, and I'm gonna see if I can bring in. I have Mr. Josh Most. I have Mr. David Amolati. I have Mr. Elvis Presley, apparently. I don't know who else we can we're gonna get Cannon Junkie here to join us. The only one missing is Shannon, and I don't know if she's around or not. It's like 2 a.m. for Shannon right now. So she should be.
Hi Shan.
Hi Shannon. We missed you.
Sleep well.
But guys, you all have something to be very, very proud of. You have helped us drive and deliver against a goal that honestly, who knew that we were going to be able to get to this level? We have raised. You ready for the final total? Should we give the final total right now?
Well, it's not the final total yet. Like, we have another hour, right?
No, this is it, man.
This is it?
This is it. I mean, unless you want to do it. I mean, it's up to you.
I mean, we spent 12 hours. What more can we really do at this point?
I think we're
going to have Scotty take off the Elvis outfit if we're going to go another hour.
God,
here we go.
I don't think we
want. What do you mean by that? Like,
we had Andy naked on the toilet. So what?
All right, here's a statement.
I'm telling you, he was naked.
It's fine. Well, I had to deal with it, but here's the statement. Ready?
I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
Give me the total.
Here it is: 1,710 $1,710
guys.
Add it.
We want some Canadian funds.
If you add the Canadian funds, we popped over 2,000. I'm going to call it 2020, just so we.
Yay!
But we
FU 2020.
FU 2020. We had over 60 people donate during the day.
Oh, fantastic!
We honestly, people stuck with us for 12 straight
Donated
hours.
multiple times.
We had people, who were inspired to is Shannon here?
Yeah,
she's in the
chat. She's in the chat. She woohooed. She's probably in her comfy jams with her teddy bear. Doesn't want to appear on screen. And I get that. I get that. It's been a very.
That's where we'll be after this.
It's
2020 and 2020.
2020, guys. I have to say thank you to all my Beyond the Blast Doors compatriots. This was a quick conversation that we had on the phone a couple of weeks ago, and we did it, and we've raised over $2,000 between Canadian and U.S. funds for
Beskar, a little bit of Beskar.
So it's been really wild. So we do have to. We are obligated to give something away though, which is really exciting. And also everybody in the chat, if you're hanging out with us and you hung out with us for any amount of time today, this show would not have worked for 12 hours without your input and you're hanging out with us. And so I'm so happy.
Can I just say to Chris King, no.
we love you guys. We love you guys. We have families.
Yeah,
so.
I'm still trying to explain this to my family.
Have to get a
You've been in there for how long? For what now? So
thank you so much. And we would do it again. We would do it again if we could raise this much money again tomorrow and again and again and again. It was fantastic. It was so much fun.
Absolutely.
I think today just proves that this is the inaugural Pod-A-Thon for Beyond the Blast Door.
Oh,
and you should see us back here next year. Whether there's in-person celebration or not, maybe we should just do this the week after celebration. But I'm just really happy for our
maybe the week before, so when people have money to give. So.
Yeah, right. Let's hit them before. Let's say
the week before. That's a better idea.
Sorry, Dave.
No, that's a better idea. But everyone really backed this. We had live audiences of over 40 people at some times, and to raise the money that we did in a short amount of time, it's really impressive. The generosity that's in this fan community, and so we celebrate you and your kind heart. And now we get to give away this super cool helmet.
Yes. So before we do that, before we give that away, we when David and I were on this morning and we were sort of inching our way up, come on in, Lil. When we were sort of inching our way up to 500, we promised that if we reached 500 before that show ended, before we had Noah and Corey, that I was going to give this away. Now, whoever the winner is, you could let me know if you want me to sign it or not. I won't be offended if you say, keep your stinking pen off of my fancy magazine.
Don't drop the value.
That's fine. Right. Don't look, I want this because it's worth $7. Don't make it worth $3. So I have here the lovely Lily Fletcher with me.
Oh, we are
unbiased drawer.
So this is the people from this morning, and whoever wins, I'm going to put your thing back in here, and then we're going to put you in the big bin.
Hey,
for the
those
chance.
bowls are from Target. I have the same bowls.
Easy, Elvis.
Today's Beyond the Blast story.
I have them at Graceland.
Target.
Those are from
Brought to you by Target. All right, so if you're ready,
threshold.
So Dale says I can sign it because I'm famous. Thank you, Dale. Thank you for making me feel better about myself. It's been a long day. All right, Lil, I want you to reach in there, shake it around, and pull a name out and hand it to me. This is for the Around the Galaxy magazine. Lily, she dropped a couple, but that's okay. Those were ones we didn't really want anyway. No, I'm kidding. Here we go.
Those just get a piece of paper with
just pull one. She's reaching into the bottom. Here we go. You're not going to be able to read my handwriting because I hand wrote every one of these. Let's see. Mike McCoy wins.
Mike McCoy.
Mike, send us an address at beyondtheblastdoors@gmail.com and let me know if you want it signed or not. Mike McCoy, thank you very much. Mike, that's great. Now, I'm putting these in here.
Oh, the big bucket.
Yes. And hey,
can I draw something for my very own Pete Fletcher bowl?
I'd rather you did.
What's in there?
Yeah. I don't know what you're going to draw.
This is going to be for anyone in the chat. I will, if you want, whoever DMs me personally on Twitter, I will send this out. It is the Bad Boys for Life or Bad Boys Blu-ray. So, the Bad Boys Blu-ray for anyone that wants it.
I was really hoping that you would come through and be like, I bought that mother poster from Bounty Hunting.
Oh, I know.
One of us will own that by the time.
Whoever DMs me first.
Bad.
Get the signed copy of Bad Boys.
Rick put it out to Twitter, so it's good luck.
Somebody's probably gotten it. Okay, Lily,
it's so beautiful.
I want you to pull a name from this bucket. Don't read it. Hand it to me because you're not gonna be able to read my handwriting.
Unbiased Lily.
It better not be Scotty because he's going to jump out of that uni.
Yeah, if it's Scotty, we're putting it back.
And I don't want to do
is.
that.
He's not wearing anything under that uni.
Oh my God, Pete Lane just sent this back to me so I can show it to the people.
Oh, amazing!
All right,
You just find the bad one. You should write.
DM me on Twitter.
Write bomb BOM.
What do you got?
All right, I got a winner. I got a winner here in my hand. A handwritten winner, and the winner of the Boba Fett helmet is Amy Mulder.
Whoa!
Congratulations.
Amy.
That is fantastic. Amy, you know what to do. You know where to email us. Get us at bombadcast at gmail.com with that address. We probably already have it, but please send it our way. And we will get you. Whatever. Beyondtheblastdoors.com. Don't send it to Bombadcast because you will never get it. You will never get it.
You will get this instead.
You're going to get the Bad Boys. Ay. So, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time to call it a night. It has been an incredibly long day. But again, we have done something we can all be proud of. And those of you in the chat, you can all be proud of yourselves for being a part of this event. We've raised over $2,000 for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and that is going to do so much for probably multiple kids. So you guys have not only touched a life, you've touched multiple lives this wonderful day. Thank you all so much for being a part of this event, and we look forward to talking to you again soon, and we will probably do this next year. I love that idea. I think we should definitely do it again next year.
Absolutely. Welcome to our everybody. Thanks for making it happen.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What's that?
Yeah, I'll take us out with some bounty hunting search music if that makes everyone happy.
That would make everybody happy.
Here we go, because guess what it is? Oh, come on. It's not working. Here it comes.
What an epic ending. Bye-bye, everybody.
No one's DM'd me yet.
Nobody wants it, Scotty.
Well, he's DM'd me.
Hell of a time.
All right, everybody. Thank you all so much. This has been an amazing, amazing day. Thank you so much. Take care, and may the force be with you all.
See you guys.
No one's DM'd me.